is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
Welcome aboard. It is time to have some fun. Coming to you live from Toyota of Hollywood. We out here for a few hours. We got a bunch of guests. Got all kinds of stuff to talk about. Of course, we'll get into a little NFL free agency. There we go. All right. I got to make sure I have the news on for you guys just in case. I got to keep you updated on anything breaking, as they say. Good morning, everybody out there. Hope you're all doing well, as always. How you doing, Bill? You doing all right? You hanging in there?
Well, I mean, considering we're all right.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
It is what it is.
Yes. Just be smart. Stay away. Wash your hands. Although I just went to the bathroom a little bit ago here. And
I didn't have the same episode.
No.
This one. Thank you.
This one was different. I walked in, I washed my hands, then I went to the urinal, then I went back and I washed my hands. So this one dude was in there just long enough to see me do that, and he goes, "Now that's different. Haven't seen anybody do that." That was the other experience.
You just don't know where door handles have been.
No,
you know.
Well, I didn't even touch the door handle.
Everything you touch, you don't know where it's been.
Yeah. No, but that's after with the towel I grabbed. But I've been grabbing the door handle of bathrooms to go out with the towel for 20 years. I never touched the door
honestly,
handle.
you know what I do? I usually kick the bottom with my foot and open it up that way.
Oh, okay. I could do that. Or sometimes if it's one of those bathrooms that it's just air dryers, I'll get the bottom of my shirt and just move the handle and boom, and just swing the door and then walk the hell out. And that's it, So we'll do that. Anyway, so I hope you all are corona-free and you're taking care of yourself and you're being smart. We are going to have a bunch of guests today. Jeff Dickerson is going to join us. He covers the Bears for ESPN. We'll talk to him at noon. At 1 o'clock, my buddy Stephen Holder. He is going to join us from the Indy Star. He covers the Colts on a daily basis. Michelle Kaufman will stop by. She couldn't join us yesterday, so today we will talk to Michelle. Michelle has not been doing a lot of sports lately. She's been doing a lot of life. She's been covering a lot of corona coverage for the Miami Herald. So we'll talk a little Inter with her. We'll talk about life, obviously, a little, and her corona experiences as of late. Fernando Ramirez, who works for NBC7, and he covers the LA Chargers. He is going to join us also. So we'll have a little fun since the Chargers are kind of in the news because there's talk about Cam. They've got Tyrod Taylor there in place. They ended up letting, obviously, Phillip Rivers go. So the question is, are they going to go with Tyrod Taylor? Are they going to make the move for Cam Newton? What are the Chargers going to do? So we'll have a little fun with Fernando Ramirez. and we'll ask him his thoughts
Melvin
on
Gordon.
all of that.
Melvin Gordon's involved too, right?
Yeah.
They haven't done anything with him.
Well,
He's
no,
still
yeah,
out there.
he's a free agent.
Yeah, he's out there.
Definitely. I'm glad the Dolphins haven't signed him. I'm glad that they went the Jordan Howard route. It was cheap. It's a 2-year deal that you can get out of. Melvin probably wants a long-term deal, a big signing bonus. That's probably what he's waiting for. But as a running back, boy, you're going to keep waiting. Because look at Derrick Henry. After the year he had, they're going to tag him, and that's it. If I'm Derrick Henry, I'm holding out, is what I'm doing.
You know who all the
Either
running backs?
give me my money or your offense goes down the toilet.
You know who all
That's
the
what I
running
would do.
backs should blame, man? This is Shanahan back in the day in Denver when he had that plethora of running backs that just
Yeah, Terrell
everybody.
Davis,
Yeah.
Olandis Gary, and
Mike was
Mike
it
An-
Mike
Mike
Anderson?
Anderson.
The one of the last guys picked in the draft. I mean, it was like it doesn't matter. Ruben Drones was another one.
Yep.
It kind of, and then they traded, if you remember, Arcane, Clinton Portis. It was like, send him to Washington. We don't need that back.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll see what happens. So we'll talk with them about that. The Dolphins got the center we talked about yesterday towards the end of the show, Karras, and then they signed Landon Roberts, the linebacker, who's a special teams guy, played a little fullback, scored a touchdown against the Dolphins as a fullback. But again, a versatile guy, okay, willing to play multiple positions, and he's 25 years old also. Again, it's just kind of a theme that I kind of told you guys that if they're going to sign a free agent, then that's fine. Sign something that has a what's it called, a future, so you can actually invest. So the Dolphins continue their intelligent path here in free agency, which I absolutely love.
Notice the same theme. A lot of special team ability with these guys.
Yeah, of course. Well, because it's an important part of the game. And Jimmy was big on special teams. Flores comes from the Belichick tree. Belichick also thinks that that's important, which I have to agree. By the way, Inter Miami confirms that the MLS is adhering to CDC and recommendations, meaning no events for the next 8 weeks. MLS remains focused on playing the entire 2020 season and is evaluating all options, including pushing back the end of the season and playing the MLS Cup in December. Wow. That's cold. Literally cold. Okay? Wow.
Yeah, we haven't heard that 8-week, don't even think about it, for 2 months.
Right.
That's, yeah.
Well, I mean, look.
That's the reality,
Let's get
but
it.
to be formally told, you know what I'm saying?
Look, these leagues thinking that we're going to be out for 30 days is ridiculous. Even when they put out some of these restrictions, well, it's for the next 2 weeks. This is going to last a lot longer. Okay? It's going to cripple our economy. It's going to cripple a lot of us, yours truly. It's going to hurt all of us. This is something that will affect every single one of us one way or another. There's no doubt in my mind that that's going to be the case. Okay? It's just going to be hard. I mean, it just is going to be brutal on everybody. But we've got to find a way for this not to spread. And the leagues, by saying, well, 30 days, look, in the end, I think this is going to take so long that if you're the NBA and the NHL, maybe you come back for like 5 games, so 5 regular season games, so everybody can kind of get in shape and in a groove and then start the playoffs. And however your seeding ends, it ends that way. And that's it. I know that would be beneficial for the Heat and not beneficial for the Panthers, but it's not about them. It's about what's best for everybody, because this is going to last several months. And if you don't want this to roll over and ruin the following season on top of all of that, then whenever this thing ends, play a couple of games, get into the groove, and then get going. And that's it. Let me tell you, the sport that has a lot of problems is baseball, because pitchers, you cannot just tell them, all right, we're starting the season, let's go. they literally are going to have another month of spring training almost to build those arms back up again to the point that they can be starters. Because now they're going to be out again.
Oh, think about it.
For a couple of months.
When the baseball season starts.
Basketball and hockey, they just need get them a couple games and they're fine and just move on.
Exactly what you're talking. Think about it. Most pitchers, it takes them that first month of the season, not just spring break.
Right.
It's like 2 months, really.
Right. Amen. You're 1,000% right. And so that's why, and you can't put them in a position where they're going for, you start the regular season and they start a full go. That's why when they asked, when the talk was, you saw a couple of days ago that, well, if the NBA season comes back in a couple months, Kevin Durant has a chance. And quickly his agent and Durant no, not going to happen. We're not doing it this year. Why? Because you've been out all this time and you're going to ramp it up playoff style coming off no, dude, you want an entire off season. You want to go into training camp. You want to slowly work your way back from that injury, build up the stamina, build up the wear and tear, which you get wear and tear on every practice. And so you got to teach, you got to train your body to take that punishment and the wear and tear. And you're going to make Durant go from an injury straight to the playoffs? That's so stupid. That would make no sense whatsoever. Even if you played a couple of weeks of regular season basketball, for a guy that hasn't been in basketball for a year, you can't do that to him.
Unless you want to hurt him again.
Right, exactly, which you made all that investment. And Kyrie's also out. Just reset. That's what this year was about anyway. Start with your stars fresh next year. Kyrie's going to break down anyway. You just got to hope that Durant's the guy that stays healthy.
Did you see Gary Bettman, the commissioner for NHL, on today?
No, what did he say?
Okay. He was on with Greenberg, the morning thing.
Yeah.
And basically what he was saying is the NHL, as of right now, they do not want to affect next season. So anything that they would implement would have no effect on next year.
Exactly.
So if it runs up on it, there may be the possibility, obviously, of a cancellation.
Like I said, they're not going to be able to play the rest of their regular season.
Yeah.
Just play a couple games as a tune-up and then start the playoffs.
And in all honesty, it's a smart move. You would want to scrap this year and not let it carry over
then
to
it's
next
2
year.
years.
Yes, exactly.
It's 2 years that it ruins, and you don't want to do that either.
So you bite the bullet, you eliminate this, and you start fresh and a full regular go next year.
The only thing that can come out of this that's a positive for the NBA, and people have talked about this, and I think it's really due for them, is that this whole thing, they can then finish their season but don't start again till January. And then their regular season would start in January, and the NBA playoffs would end in August, which that would make a whole lot of sense for them because they would dominate the summers, right? They would get away from football. So their first month in January, they're only really dealing with the playoffs. So that's not bad. You know what I mean? And then that gives them that gives them more of a center stage after that. Because really, America doesn't pay attention to the NBA till after Christmas as it is. So you're really playing those games in late October, November, and December, and it's just like you're going through the motions for the rest of the country.
They're almost like modified preseason games.
Yeah. and look, I know for basketball, I mean, even teams don't really play their best early on. They kind of, get their groove going, and then in the second half of the year, February, March, is when they start to really pick it up. That's why, if you're the NBA, I love the idea of you starting in January instead. I think that makes all the sense in the world. But this thing is going to last a lot longer than 30 days. Nobody's going to be playing basketball and football in June. I mean, basketball and hockey in June. I could see them maybe into July and August. Probably August is what's more realistic. Because, remember, we're headed down the path of Italy. Okay? That's the thing. We're headed down that path. We allowed this thing to spread. We still have places where people are getting together. You see what's going on in the beaches. I mean, you saw the kids. Play that cut that was on CBS. Listen to the Spring Breakers, which I'm sure some of you have heard these sound bites from Spring Breakers here in Fort Lauderdale talking about the coronavirus.
Remember, these are college kids, educated.
If I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying. You know, I've been waiting. We've been waiting for Miami spring break for a while. About 2 months we've had this trip planned. 2-3 months. So we're just out here having a good time. Whatever happens, happens.
Like, it's really messing up with my spring break. What is there to do here other than go to the bars or the beach, and they're closing all of it? It's really messing up. I think they're blowing it way out of proportion. I think it's doing way too much.
Doing us bad. We need a refund. This virus ain't that serious. It's serious. It's more serious things out there like hunger and poverty, and we need to address that.
Yeah, I mean, we planned this a long time ago, and it was kind of up in the air if we still go, but like we're here. I just turned 21 this year, so I'm here to party, so it's kind of disappointing, but we're just making the most of it. We met these other people in our little Airbnb spot, so we're just hanging out with them and trying to get drunk before everything closes.
I mean, it sucks, but we're gonna make the best of it. We're enjoying ourselves. It sucks, and I'm from New Orleans, so this really sucks. However, we're gonna enjoy ourselves. We having day parties all day. It's my birthday, St. Patrick's Day. Turn up.
We're just trying to roll with we're just living for the moment. We're just gonna do what happens when it happens. When stuff closes, we're gonna do it when it closes. But besides that, we're just trying to have the best trip we can.
Well, there you go. Now, I was thinking about this yesterday. Can you imagine the parents of those kids? I know that I would probably end up in jail. Let me explain why. If my daughter was one of those kids and I saw that on television, okay, clearly I'm living somewhere in Georgia or New York or Michigan or Idaho. I don't know where these people are from. Okay, they're from somewhere else, obviously.
Pick a state, any state, man.
Whatever. Obviously, I'm going to have some trouble getting on a plane. If I have to drive, I'm getting in my car, and I'm going down to, Fort Lauderdale Beach, and I'm grabbing my kid by the ear. And while I'm grabbing my kid by the ear on one hand, the other one is smacking them on the side of the head a couple of times and saying, "What the hell are you thinking? Get your ass in the car. We're going home. And sit in the back seat. You might be polluted." Okay? I'm washing my hands since I grabbed your ear and smacked you in the head. And I'm sure they're going to call child services on me because I'm going to go old school. You remember that? I forgot what was the rioting that was going on or something. I forgot what it was. It's like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and this mother came out of nowhere and grabbed her kid and pulled him off the streets and just literally beat his ass right there. And she was hailed a hero because that's what you're supposed to do, by the way, okay? Your kid's going off and, looting and whatever it was. I forgot for what incident it was that was going on. And she was disgusted that he was out in the streets, whiling, as they say. I would be too. I mean, if I'm a parent, think about this. Little Johnny is on television saying, well, if I get corona, I got a party, I don't care. And then the other women and all the other girls that are like, oh, well, they're closing the beaches and the clubs and, where am I going to hang out?
We got to drink faster. We got to get drunk.
Right, we got to do all that, right? Think about this. So you're the parents of those kids. Now, everybody in your neighborhood who saw your kid grow up is also watching those highlights. And they're going, hey, isn't that Johnny from down the street? Oh, man, I can't imagine what Ruth and Albert are thinking right now.
Making the family proud.
They must be embarrassed. And, you're the father. You're walking out to take out your trash, and one of your neighbors drives by and gives you a look and gives you a wave. And he gives you that wave like, hey, what's up? I saw your kid in the news. That kind of stuff. And you're like putting your bag in the trash can and looking at him with the hi, and inside your mind you're going, he just looked at me like, hi, and I saw your kid. That's pretty pathetic. He didn't have to say it. I just saw the look, and it's there. So you're embarrassed in your neighborhood because they know it's your kid that is saying, screw Corona, I don't care. I'm going to spread it, that kind of stuff. I can't imagine how the parents are from those kids from the talk yesterday.
You know what I'm thinking of? The movie Blow. Remember when they come to get him?
Yeah.
And she says, hey, Mrs. Johnson, your kid ain't no prize either.
Yeah. I mean, the dude, if I get Corona, I get Corona. I mean, come on, man. Seriously? And look, and you see what happened in.
If I get Corona, I get Corona.
Yeah, there you go. And you see what happened in Italy, right? Hey, that's scary. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the story out of Italy. Did you?
Which one? I mean, the numbers. It's
well,
really getting out there.
Well,
man.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. That the numbers yesterday surged to 3,000. The death toll from the coronavirus in Italy surged in the past 24 hours by 475 people. 475 died yesterday.
It went up to a 24-hour period.
Yeah, it went up to 2,978, the biggest single jump in any country since the outbreak. It's an increase of 19%. At the same time, the total infections rose from 35,713 from 31,506 to 35,715. So you think about it, those extra 4,000 that were found, 400 died out of those 4,000.
Here to give you an idea, I do remember this. It was like 3 days ago, and over a 24-hour period, 349 people had died. Now you're telling me that in a 24-hour period it went to 470. Like it's just accelerating at this rate that is absolutely astronomical.
They allowed people to hang out and stay together in different places, and that's what's going on. And you got to have social distancing, man. You gotta stay away from people. I mean, that's the important thing. You don't want to be in groups of people. If you have to go out, which I get it, people have to go out sometimes. Okay, just keep your distance. Wash your hands all the time. That way. And when you touch other things, I'm waiting to get my gloves. You're gonna see me maybe tomorrow. Maybe my gloves get there today, but I'm gonna have gloves on from now on.
I do have a set of gloves. They're, the worker, mechanic, whatever gloves. And I want you to know, yesterday when I put gas, I had gloves on, man. It was like
I've been wearing gloves for gas for forever.
But like when I
have them in my car. I have the little plastic gloves.
When I was walking in the
car.
store, I had my right on and I opened it. I took it off with my left, got my wallet out, paid the money, walked out. Put my glove back, just on the side, my shoulder, boom, opened the door. When I got out to the pump, I had my gloves on. It was like, yeah, man, how many people touch that? Yeah, exactly.
Disgusting. Well, I've been using gloves for my gas pump forever, and I just can't touch it.
The two factors right now that are really scary, this 11-day dormant thing and the fact of the, that don't really show symptoms, and the lack of testing. We do not know how many people are out there not showing symptoms that have it, that are walking around.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And that's the problem. Since we don't have massive testing, we don't know exactly who is, sick, so they can get quarantined and stay away from people. Remember to give us the thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Also share the YouTube link with friends. Send it by a text. Put it on Twitter, on Facebook, all that good stuff. We always appreciate it, and we appreciate the increase of the folks that are watching and listening over the last couple of days. I get it. A lot of you have more time on your hands. The cool part is that there's a lot of people that are finding out about the show, and they're like, hey, welcome back. And I'm like, well, we've been on for like 7 months now, okay? So this is just something that's pretty cool. I mean, very cool. That we're getting connected with a lot of people that used to listen to the show, used to listen to me at the different radio stations and things like that. So they're kind of finding out about it, and they're finding out that they can download. Which, by the way, Bill then podcast this whole thing, so you can also download it in pieces in its entirety by hours, all of that. And you can subscribe to SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, Big O Radio Show. That's how you find it to subscribe, Big O Radio Show. And again, of course, subscribe also on YouTube. And we always appreciate the immense support. Let me go through a little roll call here. Let's see what we got going. Wow, there's a lot of people already signed up. Dwayne Hadley is in. Good morning, Big O. Dolphin Dwayne, he says. 2019 Miami Miracle. Who do you, the Dolphins' next signee will be? Oh, I'll tell you. Adrian Colbert. They just signed him to a 1-year, $1.775 million deal. So they brought the safety back. That's their next signing. Just answered that. Eugene 96 says good morning. So does Guillermo. What's it called? Ty in the Bronx says good morning, fellas. Feels great to be a Dolphin fan this morning. I pick on 5 gloves, and all you do is take a layer off at a time. Okay. All right. John Rouse
It's almost
says,
like a jockey in a race, with the horses. It's flipping off the buys.
John says your door handle, your pens at restaurants, credit cards, your face mask, since you have to touch it. Bro, John, I'm glad you brought that up. So I don't know what the hell happened here. I raised the volume. Yesterday I went to go pick up a pizza. Okay? As you guys can tell, I'm pretty much, like, on top of this. Like, I told you how many times I washed my hands when I went to the bathroom, that I grabbed the gas pump. I didn't need this Corona stuff. For 20 years I've been using those stupid little gloves. So that's nothing new for me. Here's what I did yesterday. I went to Steve's Pizza, because I have a Steve's over on...
You would have to say that. Now I want pizza, man.
All right, well, Steve's is by my house on 157th
Yes, sir.
and Kendall Drive. Everybody knows the original Steve's that everybody loves on Biscayne and 119th, right? 122, something like that.
I want to say it's north of 125.
No, it's south of 125, isn't it?
See, there's 119, 125,
Because I worked at
135.
KAT. I worked at KAT. KAT was 135th. And I want to say that next big avenue is 125 or 127
125.
because you can go into the beach from there.
Exactly.
So, and it's right before that.
When I lived on the beach, that's what I used to go
So
through
it's a
Bell
couple
Harbor.
blocks. So I want to say it's like 120, 121. Yeah, maybe something like that. So that's Steve's, right? So I go, that's their sister one, the one by my house. And so I go to get a pie there. And when I get the pie, I give my credit card, right? So she rings up the credit card, and then she puts the receipt. She gives me a pen. I whip out my pen. I brought down the pen from my car, and I signed with my pen. And she goes to me, "That's smart." And I said, "Well, it's the world we live in, unfortunately." So there you go, John. Thank you, sir. Thank you for looking out. And he's right. John is right. Door handles, pens at restaurants, credit cards, it's all that. Yeah, you got to be careful, man. That's why maybe we're at a point where you got to wear gloves. Man of 1,005 holds says, "Morning, guys. The Finns appear to be going in the right direction. Looking forward to the draft." Yes. I still don't know how the hell I'm going to handle the draft because I would be alone at home, and that's a long draft to be, talking by yourself. Like when we were going to be in Vegas, we were going to have a couple of people with us and guests and things like that I was setting up. Now, I mean, hell, we were going to have a rock star show up.
Hold on.
The lead singer of Adelita's Way was going to come by and hang out with us. And we were going to have like a really cool 3 days out there. Okay? Like a super cool 3 days out there. I was even trying to reach out to Sammy Hagar.
Okay.
Do you know Sammy is a Dolphins fan? Did you know that?
I did not know that. No.
You didn't know that? He's
No.
a monster Dolphins fan.
Wow.
And he has Cabo Wabo. Well,
Yes,
you don't know this.
tequila and all,
No,
yes.
but what I mean is he has a Cabo Wabo in Vegas.
Okay. Well, yeah, he's got them everywhere.
So yeah, he's got it right. And so although I think he sold that, part or sold a portion of it or whatever. He's made so much money from all that stuff. And I was going to try and get him on not live because I thought he was going to be there, but I was going to try to get him on. I was trying to plan all kinds of fun stuff, man. We were what's it called? NorCal had 30 different giveaways he was putting together. I was putting my own too. We were going to have so much fun in Vegas, man. But
you could do for the draft.
Dolphins and Raiders. That's where we're gonna have our revenge, man.
Yes.
Okay. And the team will be on the field. They'll be kicking butt, playing well, and they'll go and crush the Raiders.
We'll be out there for a week.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, for sure, we'll be out there for a week. You bet your ass we'll be.
We'll
out there for a
be
week.
at Tommy Rockers. We've already talked about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tommy, by the way, is crushed by all of this. Obviously, for many reasons, because he's a businessman. And he's getting crushed right now like every business there.
Ugh.
But he was really looking forward to the draft. All right, look, it's 11:30. I'll continue with the roll call. We got some Dolphins talk I want to get into. There's a ridiculous thing that's still floating around for some Dolphins. And I got to put a squash to it already because we live in reality on this show. So we got to do that. Some guys are great at shooting their shot. Others, it's interesting watching them take it. We'll talk about that one also. I got some football news I want to get into. I got some interesting sexy news that we have less sexiness in the world. I'll tell you why we have less sexiness in the world. What else? Oh, we got a bunch of music stuff that I want to talk about. One band is doing one of the coolest things out there in this time that I got to bring it up. Also, tips also from another artist. I mean, there's so many things that I want to talk about. We're coming to you live from Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. In other words, just a couple blocks south of that big, beautiful guitar. I see Herbie back there working hard. Steve Ostrov is out here. All the great people are out here waiting to take care of you. So come on out here. If you're looking for a vehicle right now, you need something reliable, this is a good time, man, to come out here because things are kind of quiet in the world. And maybe you've been thinking about, hey, I got to get rid of that car. It's a money pit, right? Well, come on out and get a reliable Toyota vehicle. You can buy or lease a vehicle. They've got over 1,500 cars and trucks to choose from. So that way you can pick the car you want, the model you want, the style you want, the color you want, but more importantly, the price you want at Toyota of Hollywood.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to AccidentLawFirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to AccidentLawFirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's AccidentLawFirm.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we are back. Miami-Dade Mayor Carlos Jimenez has some news. He has signed an executive order issuing more closures amid COVID-19 break. Jimenez announced Thursday he has ordered all parks and beaches in the county starting at 9 a.m. Thursday to be closed. Jimenez signed an executive order closing non-essential retail and commercial places. And can I get rid of this damn pop-up here? Casinos, shops, beauty salons, spas, nail studios, sporting goods stores, bookstores, jewelry stores, malls, boutiques, toy stores, indoor amusement parks, trampoline parks, driving ranges, social clubs, tennis clubs, golf courses, fishing charters, music stores, art and craft stores, and pawn shops. Jimenez also said the closures are based on the recommendations from the Centers of Disease Control. Mayor added that gas stations, pharmacies, grocery stores, convenience stores will remain open. Restaurant kitchens will also remain open for pickup and delivery. Doctors' offices, banks, child care facilities, and adult daycare facilities will also remain open. Construction sites, hardware stores, and pet supplies will also remain open. Hell, we went and bought another bag of food yesterday for the dogs. So we're set now for another month. So I think it's 4 months now that we're set for food, and we don't have to go back. My wife just went, you know what, I'm going to go get another bag today. I go, you sure? She goes, yeah, I just want to get another bag. I don't have to worry about it for a while. When you're married, there are times where you just, you gotta pick and choose your battles. We already got 3 months, and I don't need to get in that conversation with her. She wants a 4th month. Bro, go get the 4th month. That's fine. Listen, it's 1 more month we don't have to worry about, and the dogs are nice and fine, and they're safe, which is all that matters. All right, so let me get into something that's ridiculous with some Doll fans out there, and you got to stop already with this. Okay? I read Salguero's article, and he's not saying that's going to happen. He's just saying that they're going to take a shot. And in his article, he talked about how, they got to get a quarterback, right? And they are going to take a shot at calling Cincinnati to try to trade for, Joe Burrow. And trying to make it sound like you never know. Look, I know already. Do you guys remember Shabazz Napier? Anybody remember Shabazz Napier? Do you know why he was on Miami's basketball team for a short time? Anybody? Bueller? Because LeBron James loved Shabazz Napier. And Pat Riley was trying to recruit LeBron James, which he really shouldn't have to recruit him after everything they'd done for a few years. But whatever. He was trying to bring James back after his 4-year run. And James was in the middle of that, deciding stuff. So in the draft, he had tweeted and all that he liked Shabazz. So they were at the back end of the first round anyway. So Riley takes Napier. Not because he really wanted Napier, but, Riley doesn't care about draft picks. Oh, we're going to take him, late first round, you're going to miss anyway. Let's take Napier since LeBron likes him. So he's trying to surround LeBron with the things that he likes, right? And that's why you ended up having Shabazz Napier, because LeBron wanted it. So let me ask you something. When Joe Burrow met with the Cincinnati Bengals, what did he want? Because last time I checked, the way the conversation went, hey, you know that guy A.J. Green? You know, you guys, you're going to bring him back, right? Because I would love to play with that guy. Oh, you would, Joe? No problem. They tagged him. He's coming back. So now they're going to trade Joe Burrow. Come on, man. I mean, I get it. We're desperate for a quarterback down here. We need the future. We haven't had it since Marino. Nobody's been able to come in and give us hope that he can be a franchise quarterback for years to come. We're dying to solve that riddle. Dude, I get it. I completely understand it. But let's stay realistic. If Tua falls to you at 5, if you trade up to Detroit and switch places 3 and 5, do you take Tua there? All those things are realistic. Detroit taking Tua is not realistic. That's another silly one there because those guys will get fired if they take Tua because that means they're getting rid of Matthew Stafford. And if they get rid of Matthew Stafford, then, you know, they're pretty much done. They'll get fired for sure. Plus, you're taking a chance on an injury-prone quarterback. So if Miami gets Tua because they trade up to 3 or take Herbert, or they stay at 5 and they take Tua or they take Herbert, those are all realistic. Okay? But trading from 5 to 1 for a team that went and tagged their wide receiver just to appease the young quarterback. Because remember, you're Cincinnati. You don't win. You don't really get to do a lot of hell, they did spend something in free agency here, which was a shocker. But still, I don't think it was good money either in Trey Waynes, but whatever. He's declined, unfortunately. He started off well his career, but he just has not played well as of late for that kind of money. But whatever. It is what it is. And you look at this team, they're not a team that instills any kind of confidence in any player. And they were getting dissed by everybody. So by the time that meeting rolled around, Cincinnati was hearing it from former players and everybody else talking about it. We're like, why should Joe Burrow go there? So in their meeting, Joe Burrow goes, hey, you know, that guy, A.J. Green, I like him. You got to bring him back. He's there. He's there for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. It's because Joe Burrow wants him. And they're going to take Joe Burrow because they're convinced that the Ohio kid, okay, the home state kid is the answer for them. So Miami can call and offer 2 first-rounders and a second or whatever, and they're not going to get him. They can offer 3 first-rounders, and they're not going to get him. What you have to stop is you have to stop filling this crap in your head like they actually have a shot. That's really what you have to do. Because every time I hear about this stupidity, oh, the Dolphins, maybe they can trade for Joe Burrow. No, man, not going to happen. Look, one of the things that I do love about this process, and some people wanted Tom Brady to come here. I was not one of those. Because I get it, but he's got a year or 2 left, and I don't think he'll be a Super Bowl contender this year anyway. So that there's one more year that you got to make the team a Super Bowl contender by next year for him. It's so tough, and he's older now at this point. And who's to say that your line, which you still need to really develop it, is going to become great next year. Or this season, in other words, coming up. You don't know that yet. So all of that must be answered, and you're going to get a young left tackle. He's going to make some mistakes as he grows into the position. All of these things really weren't a good environment for Tom Brady to come in and take over. You know what I mean? So I didn't want that. Plus, I really want to see these guys build it on their own with their guys and not bring another guy in that you're going to have to live off of his legacy. And if you would have brought Brady in, he would have gotten all the credit and all the blame, too. It all depends. Well, actually, no. He would have gotten all the credit for success. If he would have failed and gotten old on you, which it could happen this year to Tampa or next year to Tampa, Chris Greer would have gotten all the blame at that point. It would have been twofold. All the people that would have been really happy about Brady coming to Miami then would have been pissed at Chris Greer a year later that, he looked old. What a bad investment, all that. I want to see them find their young quarterback and develop their young quarterback. That way it's their identity, their guy, and more importantly for us as Dolphin fans, if you got Brady, okay, I get it. It's definitely a good addition. You're going to be a much better team, but for a year or two, and then you're in the same boat again. That's why it's imperative to get your guy and develop your guy, and let's have a new era. You know what I mean? We had the Greasy era. We had the Marino era. We need another one of those eras where we have, a quarterback that we can be really, really proud of, not some stopgap guy that we're filling in for a year or two or 4 or 5 or 7. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we bottomed out. We went to ground zero.
Yes.
Don't go with the fast track guy. No. You start from scratch.
Yes. That's the way I want it right now for the Dolphins. I think that's the best way for the Dolphins at this point. Because that to me, and the most satisfactory thing in the world is to watch what's going on. That you tear it all the way down. And tearing it all the way down, you won 5 games, which is amazing. Now you add more talent. Let's hope you win a few more games. And you are improving on your own in your decisions. It's not a team you inherited that was already a winning team and all of that. No, I love this process right now that the Dolphins are in. And to me, it was super satisfying to watch them finish 5-8 and beat the Patriots at the end of the year. So this is the fun part about all of this. But again, I'm the twisted guy that has enjoyed the last year, okay? That's just me. And I think, you know what? A lot of you out there, you got to admit it. You were terrified once they did all of this. You didn't know how it was going to work out. You were terrified. All that whole off season went on last year, and the entire regular season, and now you're at this point now. I think most of you that were terrified about what was coming last year, you now look back at it in hindsight, because it's always 2020, and you're going to go, damn, man, that last year wasn't so bad. I get it, we won 5 games, but I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I thought it was going to be what happened in the first 2 weeks all year long. And all of a sudden, I feel like maybe we got ourselves a head coach. And now you start watching what's going on in free agency after everything that they cleared out, and you start thinking, I like the direction that this team is going in. I like what the front office is doing. I like how they're rebuilding the team, and they're really smart. They're getting it with young guys. They're not signing a whole bunch of 30-year-olds and trying to get 1 or 2 good years out of old guys that are already used up. That's what the Dolphins have done forever. It's a whole different way. You have to admit that a lot of you that were terrified last year, by now, a calendar year later, you have to have way more confidence in what's going on.
I was feeling bad about just a few wins. Like I was thinking, you kept saying 0, and I'm like, man, this is going to be a really long, excruciatingly brutal, just how can you watch? And seriously, the first 2 weeks, it was a little bit tough to stomach. But, terrible. Man, I'm going to tell you what. That second half of that Dallas game.
Yeah, from the Dallas game
we played
on.
them even.
Yeah.
And we would hand them the first 20 minutes, whatever, but then play them even. Man, you think about it.
Defense showed up.
The way we turned around those last 9 games and ended up 5-4, the acceleration of happy and feeling good, it just every week we added a little another nugget,
Confidence, man.
And all of a sudden we had our pocket full of all these little chips that we had acquired over the course of the season. And we got through it. It went by actually pretty quick, man. I thought it was going to be horrible.
Right, and those of you out there have to admit, those of you that maybe didn't have any confidence in what was going on, now you have some confidence. Or maybe you have a lot of confidence. I don't know. I don't know where you stand. For me, I always had confidence because I'm the one that wanted Chris Greer in place. So I'm happy. I'm good. I think we're headed in the right direction. But a year later, there has to be a better feeling amongst Dolphin fans right now. I know that the rest of our lives, we don't have a good feeling right now of what's going on around us with the corona, and a lot of us are losing jobs, we're losing money, and we're all gonna fall behind on bills. I mean, this is going to be brutal. Okay, this is why we need this. As crazy as it is that a lot of people are losing money in their jobs, and we've got NFL players agreeing to $1 million deals, which is kind of ridiculous. I will admit that it's been a nice getaway for us. It's been pretty cool that we can talk about this. Like next week, the shows are going to be a little bit more of a challenge because free agency will be old then. What else do we have to talk about? There's not going to be a lot of things. And we have no mini camps coming up. We have no training camps coming up yet. And until we get to the draft next month, we really aren't going to have a whole ton to talk about. But I will say that you have to have a completely different feeling about your team. Most of you. There are some of you out there that you're probably still, you still don't believe in the Dolphins. You didn't like what they did last year. You don't like what they did in the free agency right now. You don't think Chris Greer is a guy. I don't know. Whatever. There's a whole bunch of you that are convinced that he made all the picks 5 years ago and 10 years ago and 15 years ago. So
there's 25 years
like he's been in charge.
Negative. There's 25 years of negative contributing to the pessimistic attitudes.
Yeah.
And you can understand it. It's just you got to kind of wipe the slate clean. We started new. And look at all the positive things that have happened.
Yep.
In 1 year. You know what's one of the biggest that obviously Coach Flores and what Greer did. Man, the fact that we got out from underneath the salary cap money that was crippling us every year, that we're at zero. Look at all the money. Look at all the people we're able to get.
Now you're not. Now you're not mortgaging the future anymore.
It's amazing.
Big Mike says, good morning, So some Dolphin fans don't want to sign certain players because they have a history of injuries but want to draft or trade multiple picks for a QB with a history of injuries. Shaking my head. Yeah, that's a good point. I on the other hand, am not a fan of any injury-prone player pretty much. Bromar Smelly says, no clue. You can't say it's a bad O-line for Rosen when Fitz played with the same line and did well. I guess that's a part of a conversation, but I do like that point, Bromar Smelly. Troy George says, I enjoy watching most of Miami's games. It was fun most of the time, even when they lost a close game. I'm with you, man. It's what Bill said. The second half of the Dallas game I thought the season was fantastic because it was way better than I expected. Josh says, I still can't believe the Dolphins passed up on Breeze. Stupid doctors that made the stupid decision, and the Dolphins signed broken-down Culpepper. We wouldn't have this conversation about drafting a QB. Well, no, we would, because at this point now, Breeze is at the end of his career. So, yeah, you have to have that guy in place now for Breeze because he's going to play, 2 more years? So I would like to have his replacement in place. So technically, I know what you're saying. We would be talking about his career. Now, the question is, would Drew Brees have had a stellar career here? I don't know, man. That's the part we really don't know.
With the obstacles at our coaching staff, the obstacles in our front office, I would have to say no.
Yeah, he was with Wanstead, man.
That's not real.
He was going to let him pass. He was going to punt and run the ball with Drew Brees. King Short says, by all reports, Rosen steadily improving, still lots of potential. Well, let's hope so. Bromar says, NFL Network is free for 30 days showing reruns of last year's games. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are doing. They got to play reruns now. Myron says, it's going to get worse than better, but I believe we will get through this if we take ourselves and follow the doctor's instructions, period. I agree. Let's see. No Colts pick means a QB drops to 18, right? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Wayne Finns Nation UK says, Big O, I don't think Tua will be there at 5. Do you? It's a great question. I think he will be. I still think he's going to drop to 5 because of the injuries. But we'll see. I think sometimes people are talking him up because of the injuries. I think behind the scenes, a lot of NFL teams, and especially now with this whole situation, you're not going to be able to really see him work out. I think he drops. Jesse Minneapolis says, I keep basking in Week 17 game. Hey, man, Week 17 was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And I don't care what anybody tells me, that meant a lot to the future of the Dolphins because it showed, I think, a lot of Dolphin fans that you might have the right coach. Because if he goes into Foxborough with no talent to win, that's pretty awesome.
There's a double positive, man. We also took away home field advantage, a week off from New England. You know, they kept them home, made them play the first week of the playoffs, and they got knocked out the next week. It is a double positive for us, man.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Big Rig says, what's up, Big O? Checking in from the road today. I am in dirty Jersey. Fins fans smash that like a button. Let's do our part to help Big O continue to grow. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And we are growing a lot, so make sure you keep giving us the likes there on YouTube. Share the YouTube link on Twitter, on Facebook. Send it to a friend on a text. You know, maybe they like to hear a little sports, a little pop culture, a little music, all that kind of good stuff.
Dirty Jersey. He knocks my birth state.
Yep, dirty Jersey. I got cousins in Jersey, man. Jersey's a good place. Don't forget that Moody's Dental is, of course, the place you want to go. And let me tell you something. At Moody's Dental, they are right now waiting for you. Yes. So make sure you go see my guy, Eric Moody's, because he's going to take care of you right now. Let me tell you something. Don't let coronavirus self-quarantine keep you in dental pain. So if you're dealing with corona, but you're also dealing with dental pain and you don't want to get, you're afraid to go out there, go to Moody's Dental. They are open and ready to get you out of pain. Do not live in pain. Do not live in fear. I know that you're afraid of the corona, but over there they are clean. They are state-of-the-art, and they want to get you pain-free. So call them 305-821-0231. Remember, they're the Invisalign and implant experts. I know. I've got my Invisaligns. I'm straightening out my teeth. You can do it too. 305-821-0231, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moody's Dental.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometo-rockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometo-rockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are ready. Okay. I promised you that Jeff Dickerson is going to be kind enough to join us now. You can follow him on Twitter at DickersonESPN. And I was just listening to Bill bring him aboard. And Jeff, I want to apologize first and foremost that you had to deal with my producer at the beginning of this show and him whining about his Bears. So I apologize, sir. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Look, Big O, I think Bill makes some very good points. And Bill, to me, sounds like every other person in Chicago right now that I've run into when the topic of the Bears comes up.
Reality
so no worries on my
sucks.
end.
Although he does have a point. What is it about the Bears? I remember Matt Millen used to collect wide receivers. Why do the Bears collect tight ends? What is the method behind the madness? Because they have as many tight ends as most teams have players on their rosters.
There's a lot of questions with this team. You start with the tight end position, and that's a real head scratcher. The problem is they gave Trey Burton a really pricey free agent contract 2 years ago. And that was kind of a risky move because in Philadelphia, Trey Burton was the Eagles' 3rd tight end. And the Bears paid him number 1 tight end money and really good number 1 tight end money. And then he's been injured and kind of, ineffective. They have Adam Shaheen, who's their former second-round pick, who played college football at a Division II school. And that has not panned out. And I think their leading tight end last year didn't even have 100 receiving yards. I mean, that really shows you kind of where they're at. So knowing it's not going to be a great draft for tight ends, they went out and they signed probably the least desirable tight end on the open market this year, and that's Jimmy Graham, who's had a great career.
Yeah. It's
just last year watching him play in Green Bay, didn't run very well, didn't catch really well. Older player at this stage of his career, and you guarantee him $9 million. So there have been a lot of kind of head-scratching moves the Bears have made over the years. But if they intended to go into free agency and get better at tight end, which is a very important position, it's kind of hard to sit back right now today and say they've done that just yet.
It's crazy, man. It really is. All right, so then on the flip side, they're about collecting mediocre tight ends, and now they're collecting mediocre quarterbacks. What's the method behind the madness in bringing in a guy like Nick Foles? Here's the part that I don't understand, Jeff. Why not Tom Brady? Why not go for it all the way, man? You got the team that if you put Tom Brady on this team, the Bears instantly become a Super Bowl contender. Whether it's Nick Foles or Trubisky, I just don't see you winning a Super Bowl even with that team. But it's a shame because that window is nice and wide open for you if you're a Bears fan, And if you add the right quarterback, it could be a completely different season for that team.
Well, I just don't know if there was ever any interest expressed by Tom Brady towards the Bears. You look at Tampa and Chicago as far as, like, recent history. I mean, the Bears have missed the playoffs, Big O, 8 of the last 9 years. I know the Bucs haven't made the playoffs, and it's been a long time. I get that. So it's not as if Tom Brady's joining like a proven winner lately. But I just don't know. Like, I don't want to speak for Tom Brady, obviously, but it would seem like he had a desire to stay more out east on the East Coast, Chicago, Midwestern town, as we know. I don't know if there were any connections for him with the Bears. I think Matt Nagy's a really good coach. But, Bruce Arians, there's a lot of pedigree there as far as working with, great quarterbacks, whether it was Peyton Manning in Indianapolis, Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh, Andrew Luck in Indy, Carson Palmer. So, I think Bruce Arians has a really good feel for veteran quarterbacks and how to get the most out of them, maybe a little later in their career. But, Nick Foles is a Bear because Mitchell Trubisky, as a former second overall pick, has been less than sensational, let's say. So Nick Foles is guaranteed $21 million. This is the price you have to pay, Big O, when you draft Trubisky instead of Patrick Mahomes or Sean Watson. There's really no bright side to any of this. Like you said, the Bears are not closer to a Super Bowl, I don't think, with Nick Foles than they were with Trubisky. But when you keep missing in the top 10, you have to overpay for veterans who are just at best marginally better than the guy you currently have. So that's the situation with this right now.
So that's amazing. And so why is it? What do they see in Foles that they think he can provide over Trubisky? Is it just that a couple of guys know him well? What is it?
There is definitely connections there. Matt Nagy coached him in Philadelphia and Kansas City. The Bears' new offensive coordinator is Bill Lazor. He was the quarterback coach in Philadelphia when Nick Foles was there the first time. John DeFilippo is the Bears' quarterback coach. He coached Foles in Philadelphia. So I think that's like a built-in comfort level. And, unfortunately, Big O, we're at a time right now where I'm going to guess there's going to be no off-season program at all.
Right.
I'm hoping that training camp will start on time, but sadly, the reality is none of us know what's going to happen here. So it would have been more difficult for the Bears to bring in someone that they did not know and who did not know them, and have some sort of comfort level with this offense that Matt Nagy's going to run. So I think that's why Nick Foles is here. And Nick Foles has played some good football. He won a Super Bowl before, but he's had good years, and then he's just been a backup. A couple good years, then he was injured in Jacksonville last year. So I think they see that comfort level, those connections, and the fact that in their minds he probably is going to be a slight upgrade over Trubisky. And Big O, lastly, look, money talks in the NFL, and Foles has got $21 million guaranteed left on that deal. Trubisky is going to make $4.4 million this year. So you tell me who you think at some point this year is going to be the Bears' starting quarterback. In the NFL, you always follow the money. So I think Trubisky might open training camp as the quote-unquote number one guy, but I think it's only a matter of time, given that money, until Foles probably takes over the job.
So wait a minute, and we're talking with Jeff Dickerson, of course. ESPN covers the Bears on a daily basis, NFL Nation reporter. So, Jeff, if neither guy comes through, Nagy and Pace are out, right? These guys are going to get fired, right? I would imagine that Go ahead.
No, you're right. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I think the general manager would be in a lot of trouble if this doesn't work. Ryan Pace has done some good things. There have been some good draft picks, like an Eddie Jackson, for example. They drafted Nick Kwiatkowski, who just left via free agency to the Raiders. He's an excellent player, and it's kind of a shame the Bears didn't re-sign him. But he signed Akeem Hicks. He made the trade for Khalil Mack. There have been some good things, no doubt. But especially at the quarterback position where, his two moves prior to Foles was Mike Glennon oh boy, that was $18.5 million for 4 starts, and then Trubisky instead of Mahomes or Watson. So I think the leash on him is pretty short, and then it would just depend on what the Bears do. I think Nagy hasn't done a bad job. They've won 20 games in 2 years, but it's always awkward to keep a coach and then make him inherit a new general manager, unless they want to ask Nagy, who he thinks should be the GM, and they can work together and find someone like that. But I think if this doesn't work out, the front office, I think, is going to be under a tremendous amount of pressure to explain why and justify probably saving their job. So I think if this doesn't work, the Bears are going to brace themselves for more changes ahead.
And you and I know that, like you said, with Nagy, if you fire the GM, then you're going to get a GM that Nagy wants, and then that really becomes a really difficult situation because now the coach is kind of the pseudo general manager too at the same time because he's using the guy that he put there kind of like a puppet, almost like what we're watching with the Jets in a way, because Gase got Douglas in there and he's probably have a lot of influence, and Joe's going to lean Adams' way because Adams the one that got him the job. So it's just one of those situations. It doesn't really create a great environment.
Yeah, and you hope it doesn't come to that because I'll tell you what, the Bears, there has not been some stability there for a while as they churned through. They fired Lovie Smith. They hired Mark Trestman. That was a disaster. Then they brought in John Fox. That was an even greater disaster. And then they bring in Nagy. They have been very patient, though, with the front office and the general manager through some pretty questionable decisions. And I should mention this, too, to go quickly here. I mean, they had to release Leonard Floyd yesterday.
Yeah.
That's the former 9th overall pick. Kevin White in 2015 was the 7th overall pick. Trubisky is on the verge of losing his job. He's the former 2nd overall pick in 2017. When you have 3 straight years of drafting in the top 10, and this is what you have to show for it, that makes it very difficult for any franchise to sustain success. So again, I think that's why it's of the utmost urgency for the Bears to get back in the playoffs this year, have Foles work out, and then kind of see what happens. If it doesn't happen, there's going to be a lot of justification out there for them to, again, make some changes that I know they don't really want to make.
All right, Jeff, you're around the team all the time. Jeff Dickerson, of course, ESPN, joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at Dickerson ESPN. The way the story went last year, and you tell us if it was right or wrong because you're there, Trubisky turned down the TVs in the locker room because he didn't want to hear the criticism. If he is that sensitive, how does he handle this Nick Foles thing? How does he handle this acquisition? Is he the guy that says, "Oh yeah, well here we go," or is he the guy that's going to go into a shell? How does he handle this?
I mean, based on what I've seen from Trubisky, and no one, the Bears have prevented any of us from getting to know him, which we could talk about. That's another story for another show. That's just been a big mistake on their part because this has been their choice. Okay, so now we can only go off of what we really observe every day. He doesn't seem to handle it very well. The TV, turning off the TVs, I was there. I had to write it for ESPN. I didn't think it was the worst thing in the world. It was just kind of like, why even bring that up? Any young guy that says that they don't pay attention to what's being said about them on radio, on television, what's written about them, what's on social media, they all have one thing in common. They're liars.
Yeah.
Okay? In this world,
Amen.
This generation, it just is what it is, right? People talk about you. You're going to want to know what they say. Now, it doesn't have to affect you. I mean, you could see it and be like, I don't care, which is how you should handle it.
Right.
But you see it, and he sees it, he knows it, and he knows the narrative, and he knows the Bears called every quarterback in free agency. He knows they talked to the Bengals about Andy Dalton. There were some conversations with Teddy Bridgewater. They were looking around. He knows this. So I would just say, based on how he's handled things in the past, it probably isn't the best right now as far as his confidence goes. And he's coming off surgery, and there'll be no off-season program to get better. So you add that up, they go, and he's probably in a little bit of a delicate spot right now. So maybe he just kicks it into high gear and lights the world on fire and just busts it. And this Nick Foles thing was just about motivating him. But odds are, based on what we've seen previously, I would say there's a greater chance it goes the other way for Trubisky.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny, Jeff, because you're in the town that possesses the greatest athlete of maybe our generation of all time in Michael Jordan, the dude that fed off of all that stuff. He knew what everybody else was saying. He wanted you to doubt him. He wanted you to criticize him because he wanted to feed off of all that stuff, because that's usually how great players are. They know what's being said, and they want to, make you look bad because you said it. That's usually how the great athletes are, man. They feed off this stuff, and it just doesn't seem, in other words, Jeff, he feels very millennial, because that's how millennials are. They're ultra sensitive. You tell them something and they take everything literal, bro. They take everything personal. It sticks to them like elephants. Elephants apparently have great memories and they don't forget. Millennials are like that. He's acting like a millennial.
I think it's human nature too. I think for the most part, look, people tell me all the time I'm an idiot. I see it. I just don't happen to care. It doesn't bother me.
There you go.
Okay, that's your opinion. That's fine. Hey, you're entitled to say that I don't know a thing, and that's fine. I'm not going to act like I don't know you're saying that about me, but I'm not going to respond because it doesn't bother me. I think that's something that, we'll see how this plays out whenever they get back together as a team, whenever that may be. It's kind of where he's going to be at with his headspace. But I think it's a pretty clear signal that if there's a last, if he's on his last chance right now, I think that's true, and if he doesn't play very well and win a lot of games for this team, they're going to make the change and not look back.
All right, Jeff, you said they got him, if they can make the playoffs, are they going to make the playoffs? Does this team make the playoffs with those quarterbacks?
Well, it's hard right now for me to look at the Bears and say that this is a playoff team because of the offense. Defensively, that's a playoff team.
Oh, yeah.
They also added Robert Quinn, who the 11.5 sacks for the Cowboys last year was terrific. Now, again, you're paying an older player a lot of money because the guy you drafted 9th overall, Leonard Floyd, doesn't work out. So there's good and bad to that signing. But, if he plays like he played for the Cowboys last year, he's going to be a nice guy to put out there with Khalil Mack, with Akeem Hicks. So I think defensively, there's a lot to like again for the Bears this year. But one of the worst offenses in the NFL. And, Foles coming in could help. Jimmy Graham probably not going to help a whole lot. I think what's going to have to happen is David Montgomery is going to have to be a star. The running back they took third round last year out of Iowa State. Taking a running back in the third round is not insignificant because that position has been devalued a lot. Look at what Derrick Henry. How in the world can Ryan Tannehill look him in the eye after making $61 million now guaranteed, and Derrick Henry, who literally took the Titans to the AFC title game, is going to get a franchise tag worth $10 million. But that's just how the league views the running back position. If the Bears don't run the ball, if they're not better on their offensive line, if they don't get some better production at wide receiver, and if someone doesn't step up at tight end, as great as that defense is, it's hard to see them right now as any better than the third-place team in the NFC North behind Minnesota and Green Bay.
I would imagine you're expecting a huge year out of Roquan Smith.
That's a tricky one. There were some good moments last year, and there were some really bad moments last year. And he also had the suspension for the personal reasons.
It's time, right? Jeff, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but it's time for him to turn. That's what I mean. He has to put it all together this year is what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. And I think he has the ability. His rookie year was excellent. It's just last year that there was some strange things going on with him, and there wasn't the growth that you wanted to see. And then, he got hurt. He tore his pec. He had to have surgery. So now he's recovering without the benefit of an off-season program. So, yeah, again, this is another one of Ryan Pace's, top draft picks. The first three really haven't worked out. You can't miss on another one. So, yeah, I think Roquan Smith's got to play a big role here and be a real leader on this defense.
Follow him on Twitter, Dickerson ESPN. Catch his work there at ESPN, NFL Nation reporter. He is Jeff Dickerson. Jeff, as always, my brother, thank you for the insight. We really appreciate it. Stay safe and stay corona-free, man.
Thank you, my friend. You stay safe, too.
You got it, baby. There you go. Jeff Dickerson. Good stuff there from Jeff Dickerson. Always appreciate it, man. And interesting team because, again, I got to tell you, if the Dolphins were the Bears, I'd be so frustrated right now. You'd be hearing me rip them all over because you're like, okay, dude, you got a Super Bowl caliber team. All you got to do is fix the quarterback. And you heard Jeff there. Like, he doesn't even think they're a playoff team right now because of that one guy. I mean, Tampa Bay, not a playoff team. You get Tom Brady, now you're a Super Bowl contender. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl, but they're definitely going to the playoffs with Tom Brady. If he stays healthy, which obviously that's an if for every player in the history of the NFL, but as long as he stays healthy, which he normally does, they're in the playoffs. I don't know about Super Bowl, but they're in the playoffs. The Bears, come on, man. That defense is special. And let me tell you, Roquan should blow up this year. Okay, he had the great rookie year, and then he had the setback last year, and uneven, because he had some good moments last year. But that guy's a monster. So, a young monster. He's got Khalil Mack there. He's got to learn off that guy. Now, Dickerson pointed something out. They gave Robert Quinn, which is a lot of the stupid things that Miami used to do, is giving a guy like that kind of money. And I know he had a good year with the Cowboys, but he was kind of up against it because it was a contract year.
Also surrounded by a bunch of talent.
Right, but he had a whole bunch of injuries and setbacks the last couple of years leading into Miami. And it kind of kept going. And then all of a sudden, last year he kind of blew up and did what he hadn't done in a few years. So now the Bears are counting on that. That's going to be risky. But Mack is going to be a monster anyway. All right? But again, that's not really their issue. They have to solve that quarterback spot. And you know how frustrating it's got to be? When you have that team that's there on the brink and there's one guy stopping you, man, that's frustrating. You know what I mean? Like our team, here being a Dolphins fan, we got several players. We can't sit there and go, oh, man, if we had that one guy, we'd be over the top. That's not where we're at right now. So we can't get there. But certain teams like Tennessee, they can fall for the banana in the tailpipe all they want. Okay? Ryan is not taking them there. And if I'm Derrick Henry, how in the hell are you going to play on a $10 million tag? You know they're going to hand the ball to you 35, 40 times because they don't want the quarterback throwing it 35, 40 times. They're going to wear you down to the ground like Nick Saban did when you were at Alabama. And you're going to do it without a major contract now? When you've paid your dues, when you carried them to the AFC Championship game, and you go and pay the quarterback, who's a Jag? That to me is insulting. Okay?
Here, let me add to the problem. Realize the Bears released Prince Akamora, which is our corner. We also released Clinton
Dixon. He's inconsistent.
No, but he's played well with us. The fact is we need a corner. We need a safety now on our defense. We also need some defensive line. We did get Quinn, but, we need more depth. Linebacker, we lost the kid, Kowalski, whatever, to the Raiders, and he filled in nicely. We got rid of Floyd, which was the right move because the guy was one play great, one play not even showing up. And when the tight end could chip block you, and knock you on your butt, chip block, dude, you're not doing your job. Bottom line. And, think about this. Back in the day, we got to the Super Bowl against the Colts with Rex Grossman.
Oh, yeah,
imagine if we had a real quarterback.
Right. Well, that happens to a bunch of teams that get there with a mediocre quarterback.
The Bears have been dealing with this forever.
Yep.
It is what it is. That's why it's so tough being a Bear fan. And, you know what? Being Dick Buckus and being a Dolphin Bear fan for all my life, I'm a fan. I'm not going to let him go. It's hard, man. It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm so glad the Dolphins. Thank you. Diaz, please do something for the Canes because you don't know how miserable my football seasons have been with my 3 teams for a long, long time, man.
Trubisky is a weak-ass player, especially being the most important position in the game. I guess we will find out. Go Gator, but I've seen enough of that coach. Troy George says, does Brady get the same production from officials in Tampa Bay that he had in New England? I don't know. I mean, older players are always going to get their respect. But as for the calls, breaks are breaks, man. They either go with you or they go against you.
There's a question along those lines. All the cheating assistants that he's had being with the Patriots.
Yeah, well,
now he's not going to have the cheating assistants.
No, he won't. Nope, that won't happen. In regards to Italy, the medicine is socialized, universal health care. It just collapsed. I like our system. Yeah, well, I don't like our chances. Sorry. You may like the system. I disagree with you. I think we're headed for hell. They're still allowing way too many people to gather around, and they're going to end up spreading it. We're not really using that social, what's it called, distancing or whatever. We're not really using that. When you're seeing people climb into a bar and there's 100 people at a bar and they're all over the beach and hanging out like that in groups, forget it, man. FinFan70 says, I'm wondering if Miami is still interested in Clowney. Remember the whole Tunsil trade came about when Miami was trying to acquire Clowney from Houston. Brother, they're not going to acquire Clowney for any kind of – they inquired about Clowney, but they're not going to pay a lot of money for Clowney, if you notice.
Did you hear what he wants?
Yeah,
he's looking at $20 million.
Yeah, I know. He's not going to get that. With that knee, he's not going to get that. Plus, he's not that kind of sack artist. That's the problem with Clowney. Clowney never lived up to his draft status because of that injury. He's a really good player, and he's a solid sack guy because he gets around 9, but he's not a great sack artist. That's the problem. One thing about working from home is getting to listen to the Big O live. Yes, I'm a corporate time-stealing weasel. All right. Way to go, Brooklyn Rob. I like it. Miami Kid says, Big O, I know you're high on Byron Jones, but, man, just look at the film. I feel like we're in for a rude awakening, but we'll see. I don't have to look at the film. I've seen the guy already. I know he can cover. I told you, if you're married to interceptions, then you will be disappointed. He's not going to get 6, 7, 8 interceptions. If he gets 1 or 2, that's it, but he'll defend the guys. You're not going to be getting 100 yards on him. So that's all that counts for me. Wayne Finns Nation UK says COVID-19 will delay OTAs. Knockout effect will delay start of 2020 season. Talk of UK schools closed till September. Time to cancel this year's international series too. Now, I mean, this is going to drag on. And let me tell you, Wayne, we're going to be a lot. It's not that I want it to happen, but I see a lot of what's happening in Italy happening with us because we allowed. And we're still allowing people. We have 7 states in this country right now that are not requiring you to stay away from mass gatherings. They'll suggest it, but they're not doing what we're doing. Like, hey, casinos are closed. Beaches are closed. They're not doing stuff like that. And they got to do that because, unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of us walking around with it, and we're spreading it. I could be spreading it right now. That's why. I'm just saying that kind of. I mean, what am I going to do? Stand on a high horse saying, "Oh, I am 100% sure that I don't have it." None of us know.
No.
None of us know. That's why they don't want you in groups of 10 or more. You know.
You know what started this whole change of scenery and situation and looking at it, man? If the NBA doesn't suspend play, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That was one of the initial ins that started all. What happens if Rudy Gobert doesn't test positive and we wait another week?
Right.
Can you imagine, man?
Well, they were going to do the players, and players were testing positive.
Yeah.
I think the commissioner said it was 7 teams total have been tested now, not all 30 yet. NorCal says, Goodell to announce draft is back on. Go check my Facebook, Big O. yeah, NorCal, the draft is back on, but it's just the draft. It's not people. It's just the draft. So, yeah, that was already announced like 36 hours ago. I want to say like 2 days ago it was announced. Not yesterday. I want to say it was Tuesday they announced that the draft will still take place, but not with people. That's the difference. So
the NFL is loving this. They're the only thing going on.
Right.
And they have the whole media sports world to themselves.
Well, television loves it, period.
You know what? Can you imagine where we would be?
Netflix, Hulu, everybody's benefiting now. YouTube, DirecTV, Channel 4, 6, 7, 10, all their newscasts. No, I'm serious. I mean, don't you watch the newscast now every day?
Yeah.
You got to find out what the hell's going on with Corona, and then you got to find out, okay, the Trump's talking today. You got to listen to that with all the Corona experts. Then the governor's talking. Got to listen to that. I mean, that's all we have. We got more people watching us now because more of you that aren't working, you were working normally while I'm on, and you didn't even know that we were on doing this every single day for the last 7 months. A lot of you that used to listen to me at QAM or any of the other stations, you're like, where is he? Where did he go? And you don't really follow social media, and so you don't know. And now a lot of you are finding out about us here every day on YouTube. And, of course, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Big O Radio Show. Remember, search Big O Radio Show, and that's where you'll find the TV, you'll find the radio show, as always. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other by the way, at the top of the hour, Stephen Holder is going to join us. My buddy covers the Colts on a daily basis. We got to talk about Phillip Rivers going to the Colts. What the hell are they going to do with Jacoby Brissett? Are they going to trade him back to the Patriots? Who are the Patriots going to get? All that stuff. And what is the Patriots' future? I'll tell you what that is next.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorocktillfestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorocktillfestival.com.
This is the Big This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty. We are back out here at Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. Come on by. Telling you, I see Herbie there working hard. He is waiting to sell you or lease you a beautiful Toyota vehicle. Speaking of beautiful Toyota vehicles, I can see my Camry XSE right from here.
I can see your bluish, green, black. That paint job, man.
Yep.
It's alive.
It's my favorite parking spot, too, to get here. I always like getting that one spot right there. That way I get to see the car.
Yeah, the only thing closer to your parking spot would be on the curb.
Right, exactly. That's it. That's the only thing. And so we thank all of you, by the way, watching on YouTube. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel also. We appreciate it. Share the YouTube link. Share it to a friend on a text. Put it on Twitter, on Facebook. All that good stuff. Always appreciate it. Let's see. I remember when Miami fans were surprised when we weren't making deep runs into the playoffs every year and expected Super Bowls. We need that again. Yes, I agree. We definitely need that again. And the Patriots have had that for a while, that they have made, that Super Bowl run. And so a lot of people, and you listen, you guys know me. I'm not the guy that shies away from making a prediction and telling you that, hey, the Ndamukong Suh contract's not going to work out and that Joe Philbin's going to be terrible, or don't draft Yatil Green because he's going to break down, okay? Or, hey, put Chris Greer in place. I'm always willing to go out on limbs. Hey, this Dolphin team, I think, will win 0. They won 5. So, right or wrong, and we're going to be wrong plenty of times, and maybe I'll be wrong on this one. But I got to tell you something. The people that think that they're not going to miss a beat and that the Patriots they're not going to make the playoffs this year. Okay? I don't care what anybody tells me. Let me explain something to you. Okay? Outside of Garoppolo, who's a solid quarterback, and you got Brady in the 6th round. What other quarterback? Hoyer? Mallett? Jacoby Brissett? What? I mean, and Garoppolo, while he's done a solid job, he had his moment last year, and he hit a wide open Emmanuel down. He missed a wide open Emmanuel downfield, which would have made all the difference in the world there. So it's not like he drafted another quarterback that went on to, dominate. No, Garoppolo kind of lived off of a hell of a defense and a running game, and he made his plays. He complemented it. Now, maybe he gets over the hump this year, but it's not like Bill Belichick can automatically find a quarterback. Okay? And if you look at free agency, they have lost a lot. And I know they have a lot of picks this year, again, because they always do. And they'll get a lot next year because look at all the guys they're losing. So they're going to get compensatory picks for all kinds of guys. Like, look at Kyle Van Noy is going to produce a nice pick for them overall. But Belichick screws up a lot in the draft. And Tom Brady has always been there to make up for it. Tom Brady's not there anymore. And Tom Brady, while I know he's not the Tom Brady that he was 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 years ago, I get all of that. And Belichick saw that. It's not like you're replacing him with somebody that can also make up for all your mistakes. And there's a lot of people that feel, okay, he's going to, no problem, turn things around and he'll be fine and they'll get into the playoffs and I don't believe that. And hey, look, save it if you want. You want to film this on your camera and then use it on me, a year from now? Go for it. I deserve it, okay, for underestimating Bill Belichick and the Patriots. But I think they're going to go through some rough times now. I really do.
May he regress to back the way he was when he was with the Cleveland Browns.
You were on a roll.
How about that?
You were on a roll, and everything also went your way. Okay? You had the players. You had the quarterback.
You had the cheating scheme.
Yeah, well, everything went your way. I just don't feel that that's going to continue anymore. I think he's going to go through his share of rough patches now. I'm not telling you that he won't get back to being a decent team again. I just don't think we're going to see the dynasty anymore. I don't think he's going to be dominant anymore. I just don't. And even that vaunted defense that even myself, I thought with that talent that they would be great, they didn't perform at a great level down the stretch. They gave up points. They weren't as stout as people make it out to be.
Henry ran all over them.
Yeah, they got pushed around. So to me, when people look at Belichick, and you have to give him his respect for what's gone on the last 20 years. But when you lose that stud, and I'm talking about Tom Brady, unless you have Andrew Luck or Steve Young waiting in the wings, more often than not, you suffer setbacks. Because it's really hard to, go to back-to-back Hall of Famers. Even Miami, when they were, losing on Greasy because he was getting old, they had to go through Woodstock. And luckily we had, Shula that would make, wine out of water every single time that he made that team out of, he made it wine out of water, and they were still able to get to a Super Bowl. Strike shortened season, everything helped out, but whatever. You still were able to get there. Everybody had the same season.
Killer Bees contributing big time.
Yeah, but it's still with Woodstock, it would be kind of weird to get there, and they still got there. And the Killer Bees, obviously, they were the heart and soul of that team. And that okay, you draft Marino, and now you have the transition. I don't see that guy there right now. They're picking later in the draft. And as much as I like Jarrett Stidham as a project guy, he still hasn't played. So we don't know. And they're too late in the draft that they're not going to get what, is considered one of the top guys. They're going to have to settle for the Josh Gordons, the Jalen Hurts, the Nate Stanleys, those kind of guys that are going to go in that wave after. But they're not going to get Herbert. They're not going to get Tua. They're not going to get Joe Burrow. They're just not going to get any of the top guys. So to me, again, I look at it and I don't make it the layup that people make it out to be, that Belichick is going to bounce back with no problem. I think Belichick's going to struggle in a big-time way, trying to figure this thing out again.
We'll never see this again, Al.
No, of course not.
With salary cap and stuff like that, what they've been able to accomplish over 20 years, you're not supposed to.
And Brady.
Everything is stacked.
And Brady.
And Brady made he was the thing that, like you said, man, he's the thing that was the difference of having like a year where you fall down in this.
The first Super Bowl, Jermaine Wiggins was your tight end. Corey Dillon was your running back.
Troy Brown
was your number one wide receiver. Come on, bro. How many quarterbacks are going to do that? How many quarterbacks are going to make Deion Branch a Super Bowl MVP?
You know who did that kind of stuff in the beginning of his career? Because obviously
Montana.
Exactly.
I know. Montana's first Super Bowl. Greg Cooper, Freddie Solomon,
Miami Dolphins.
Only Clark was the only elite player on offense. He didn't have Roger Craig. In that first Super Bowl,
that was
Cooper.
It's
Greg Cooper.
Cooper?
Yeah, it was Cooper. Only Dwight Clark, because you need the catch. That's it, dude.
Wendell Tyler came later.
No, I think he was there.
Was Wendell Tyler part of that first group?
I think so. I think you're right. I think he was there. But what I'm saying is there was no Rice, no Taylor, no Rathman, and even their line wasn't as good as it got after that. It got even better. Those Montana, because everybody always says, Rice and Taylor, but, you don't follow it. You don't know he won one with Freddie Solomon. You know what I mean? You don't know that.
Hey,
I mean, you got to be old. You got to be old to know that.
Ronaldo Nehemiah,
yeah,
the track guy.
Yeah, yeah, he played a little receiver there. But that's why I'm saying that when you've got that stud, Marino, no defense, no running game most of his career, and he made the playoffs a ton of times. Won a few games in the playoffs too. And really, when you think about it, it's because he was making up for a lot of shortcomings that the team had. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you got to look at it and say, okay, this is that to me, I just don't make this Belichick transition the layup that people think it's going to be.
You know what?
I may be wrong, and you can make fun of me next year. While the season's going on, say, see, you're an idiot for underestimating the genius.
You know what I would love, for us to be able to squash them like a bug. All the 20 years of just absolute misery we've had, to bring them down to our level of misery, okay? Mm-hmm. It would be so awesome, like amazing. Because you know how they have this, like, arrogant, you know what I mean? That cocky, that we don't have time. You're not on our level. We don't have time for you type, disregard.
Right. Well, I think that's why
I bring them down to reality.
I think
hard.
the Patriots are going to get knocked down a couple of steps here. Trump, by the way, has announced that Mickey Arison will make Carnival cruise ships available for amid coronavirus outbreak response. Interesting. All right. I don't know. I get that these cruise ships are doing it, but then people know that you had all those coronavirus patients in your ships. Do then they want to go on your ship? And you can tell them 1,000 times you've disinfected it. But
I can tell you firsthand from being in the they come in there and it's like incredible what they do to people.
I get it, but
realize they have like 1,500 crew members that, man, when they go to something. Like, I've seen them, look, when we were changing out like a whole casino and pulling out all the slot machines and everything like that and bringing new machines on and whatnot, they would bring in 200 guys and literally everybody spaced and one by one and make like a chain link and like just pass it. And it was like, yeah, the ship has the ability to do that, man. They do.
Yeah, I just think the optics of it, people will not want to get in your on your ships if you do that. I just think so. Myron says, as a Niners fan, Jimmy G has proven me wrong, but I don't believe he can win a Super Bowl. I saw it last year. I still have nightmares of his stupid mistakes. True, the season and the overthrown pass to win the Super Bowl. King Short says, Belichick in trouble without Brady. I believe that. Michael Pulisic says, Belichick made the right move in not keeping Brady. Guy is washed up. Big O, my fear is that Tua slips to the Patriots if the Dolphins don't pick him up. I don't think he's going to slip that far. Let's see. Pats will get hurt. Pats will get hurt, and he'll probably be the best QB out of all of them. We'll see. Big O, I haven't been this excited and optimistic since 95 when Shula loaded up with 18 first-round picks, and we eventually folded. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that hyped. Let's see. What else do we have? Josh, the Broncos waived. Oh, yeah, they waived Joe Flacco. I mean, it's just a bad fit. And Joe is, Joe's a statue, man. He doesn't move around a lot. So you got to have a great line. You got to have the receivers around him. I mean, look, he was able to put it all together with the Ravens for that Super Bowl run. He threw 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. The guy did what he was supposed to do already for his career. He just
that comeback game against Denver, I think it was, bomb.
He justified the pick.
Wow.
So
wow.
For Baltimore, he was a great draft pick. Okay? Because that guy was the key in their Super Bowl. Their defense wasn't that good.
If I'm not mistaken,
Ray Lewis was washed up at that point. He was making tackles 5 yards downfield. Please. That defense was middle of the road. Flacco was awesome. Awesome.
Post the Super Bowl, wasn't he the first $20 million quarterback?
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah. Well, that's because that year he didn't agree on the contract with the Ravens, and he gambled on himself, and he ended up winning the Super Bowl, and then they had to pay him because then they couldn't lose him because he threw 11 touchdowns, no interceptions, in a Super Bowl run.
It's an awesome gamble, man.
Yeah, he gambled on himself, and it paid off. Nico says, if you have some excess cash, it's great time to buy some bargain Fortune 100 company stock, 60% off long-term. It will pay off. Now back to sports. Nico, brother, you are 1,000% right. I told my wife that right now. I said, man, if I had money, I would be investing in the stock market right now. I'd be putting more money in the stock market because it's only crashed because of Corona. The economy was doing just fine. So once we get past the Corona, it's going to skyrocket. You're going to see thousands of points every day. It's going to go up. And whoever invests now, Nico's so right. I just don't have the money. But if I had it, Nico, damn, I would be investing. NorCal says, Belichick been successful his entire career. Brady was lucky to have him. Belichick has been successful as a defensive coordinator before he was a head coach. He wasn't a successful head coach in Cleveland. It's been in New England, and it's been with Brady. Now let's see what happens post-Brady. I just think it's going to be a struggle in the first couple of years here. Maybe he figures something out, a couple of years down the line. But this coming season, I think the Patriots are not making the playoffs. I really do. I think they're going to struggle some. Let's see, Burrow or Tua or Rosen. Well, I'm not even going to get into the Burrow talk. It's ridiculous. Josh says, I'm watching the Dolphins versus Patriots Week 17. What a game. Enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy it.
Are people taking my suggestion from yesterday? Remember? It was to watch these Week 17.
Oh, yeah.
And, feel good.
Yes, definitely. Why not? Why not? Nico says, I'm investing about $1,000 a day, taking small hits now, but will pay off later. Dude, you're being really smart, Nico. I wish I had the money myself, and I would be investing in the market right now. No doubt. So Dwayne Hadley says, we will draft all offensive players. Pretty much. I still think they could get a free safety in the draft. I still think they could get a defensive tackle in the draft to add one more guy there because I love their starters, but they need some depth. So that is possible. I think they could take a corner also. Those are a couple defensive positions, but I'm with you. I think it's going to be mostly offense. I think they'll take some offensive tackles. They'll take a center. I believe they'll take a center in this draft because Karras will be used this year, and then they'll groom his replacement, and then his replacement will take over next year. That's what I think is going to happen because you don't want to draft a center and then throw him there into the fire right away. And especially after your first year where you win 5 games, now you're expected to be a little better. So that's why they bring in a guy like Karras, who, by the way, is signing a very cap-friendly deal. Most of these deals are really not that crazy. Listen, I'd be the first one to tell you, outside of the Jones deal, not even the Van Noy deal is a crazy deal. It's not. It's a reasonable deal. And they can get out of it after 2 years. Dolphins did a really, really smart job the way they structured most of these contracts. The Jones one, you couldn't do anything about that. You had a few teams fighting for him. He's an elite corner. You need cover guys in this league. They put a premium on cover people, so that's what they did. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105. 1105. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're visiting us for the first time, subscribe. And also share the YouTube link with a friend. Send it on text. Post it on Twitter, on Facebook, all that good stuff. Tell them that they've got some sports talk going on. All right, at the top of the hour, Stephen Holder is going to join us. He covers the Colts on a daily basis. So we'll find out what the Colts are doing. They got Phillip Rivers. So we'll get into that, and we'll talk a little Phillip Rivers with him. We'll talk a little Colts on the other side. You can also reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. We'll get to your questions and your comments on the YouTube chat board. And we're out here at Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. Got a beautiful Supra next to me right here. If you're looking for a Supra, killer Tundra that's there, a 4Runner, a Camry, a Corolla, you name it, come on out here, man. Got a large selection of vehicles, 1,500 cars and trucks, which is a beautiful thing. So come on down, of course, to 1841 North State Road 7, baby. It is Toyota of Hollywood. When we come back, we'll talk to Stephen Holder. We'll talk a little Colts football next.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
at Toyota of Hollywood. We'll be out here for a couple of more hours. You can come on by and say hi. You can get a great deal on an automobile right now at 1841 North State Road 7. We are going to switch gears here. We're going to talk a little Colts football with my man Stephen Holder, who does an excellent job for The Athletic, covering the Colts on a daily basis. Stephen, good afternoon, my friend. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you, Big O?
I'm doing good, man. You looking forward to whenever this damn Corona thing is done, cover a fiery dude in Phillip Rivers. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be different. Yeah, I think that I think this is a kind of it's been a crossroads for the Colts, right? Since Andrew Luck's retired, and they're still trying to find their way. Like, this is not their final move, I don't think, at quarterback, at least not in the long term. But for the short term, it makes it interesting and it gives them a chance. So I'm very interested to see it play out. He could go in a number of ways, Rivers, right? So, we'll have to see, but it's going to be interesting.
Did you like the move overall? Because some people feel like his game is on the decline and that, he was kind of losing some of his fastball last year. If you really look at the numbers, they're actually pretty damn good over the last few years. But you tell me, what do you think?
I agree with both statements. They're both true, right? He is on the decline. But I also think it's also true there are some good numbers in there, and you don't have to look that hard to find them. I think 2 years ago, that was a very solid season he had, and the Chargers' success reflected that. I think they were 12-4, right? That was a good season by them. Certainly he had some help on defense, but the point is, he made some plays that year. He made plays last year, for that matter. I think the thing that everyone, and I think I understand it, is the interceptions, all right? He has to find a way to limit those. He's going to put too much strain on the defense if that continues. I think he will be well positioned to at least mitigate that because Frank Reich does a good job. He knows him as well as anybody. I think that will be a good tandem, those two guys. But at the end of the day, a lot of this is going to be on Rivers' shoulders. Can he restrain himself? Can he make the smart play? And then that's going to be a question. And the other question is, how much will his, if you believe that he's lost some arm strength, and I think he has, then that's going to be a factor too. Because sometimes he trusts his arm a little too much, and that gets you in trouble. So he's going to have to sort of adapt, I think. And if he can do that, the Colts are going to have a good season. But that's going to be, I think the jury's just out on that. I mean, and the Colts are taking a chance here that it works in their favor.
Stephen Holder, of course, from The Athletic, covers the Colts on a daily basis. You can follow him on Twitter at HolderStephen. And Stephen, the other thing is, if you want to have some success with this guy, I would imagine you want to make his life as easy as possible. And do they have enough weapons around him to make his life as easy as possible? Because I think the way you were saying that they're not done yet with their moves, is that what you're talking about? Maybe improving that offense around him?
Well, I'll start with this because this is the most important thing. The one thing he will have that he hasn't had in quite some time is an elite offensive line. The Colts offensive line, we can make an argument, they're the top team in the NFL. So he's going to have that going for him, and that thing is coming back, all five guys back, all playing great football right now. So that's going to be great. He's going to benefit from that right off the bat. He didn't have that in Los Angeles. The other thing about Rivers is he's not going to have, though, on the other side of the ledger, he is not going to have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. And that is something that he's going to have to adapt to as well when I talk about adapting. I think the Colts are going to make some moves at receiver. Certainly the draft has all kinds of opportunities. I think they'll consider, or they're looking into the free agent veterans at that position. We'll see. That market is still kind of figuring itself out, right? I don't think we've seen a lot of dominoes fall there, so let's see how that goes. If something works in their favor, they may do it. But I definitely think draft is a target. T.Y. Hilton's been getting healthy. Did not need off-season surgery after his injury of last season, so that's a positive. They can get T.Y. going. That helps elsewhere. But I do think they need to make other moves. They need to augment what they have at wide receiver. One good thing is their running game is very efficient and very productive. And so that's going to help as well. So, look, I mean, they're there's the pieces there. I just think they need to add a couple at wide receiver, and really, Flip is going to have to adapt not having those two 1,000-yard receivers he had out of Los Angeles.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's why I say that, you probably want to make, an improvement on offense. And then I think the other improvement's going to be Frank Reich, because I think that's one thing that he's kind of proven so far throughout his career, that he can communicate well with his quarterbacks and get the best out of them. And I think that he's going to be good for Phillip Rivers.
I think so. Look, they have a real symbiotic relationship. And don't forget, the Colts offensive coordinator, Nick Sirianni, who takes a lead role in the game planning, he also came from that Chargers staff as well and knows Phillip personally very well. So the three of them together in a room, that's going to be very productive. I think you're going to have a guy in Phillip Rivers who, despite sort of his YOLO sometimes, right? I mean, he'll make any throw. He can make every throw. Despite all of that, he's a very smart player, and he understands football. He knows, obviously, he's seen it all, but just his understanding, his processing, all those things, he's off the charts, right? So, you're talking about a guy who has all of that, and you combine him with two really smart guys in Frank Reich and Nick Sirianni. I think that is going to be a very productive relationship, and it's just going to be up to Phillip to make the plays. But I think in terms of the preparation, I think it's going to be there. One thing Frank Reich also does really well is he schemes receivers open. Does a really good job of that. And I have seen so many guys make easy catches and quarterbacks have easy throws here. And I think that is something that's really going to work in Phillip Rivers' favor as well.
Steven, the one thing I would ask about the offensive line, Costanzo, like a couple months ago, was kind of talking about, well, maybe I'm going to retire. What happened to the retirement talk? And then all of a sudden he signs a 2-year contract. So you go from retirement to not playing 1 more year, you're now going to play 2 more years. Was that some kind of a negotiation ploy, or was he really considering retirement?
No, I know Anthony pretty well, and I really never got the sense that it was a trick. I think his contract was up, and so it gave him a chance to kind of think about things, right? I mean, he's made a lot of money, and that's what you get paid as an elite left tackle. But I don't ever really get the sense the money is what drove him. I mean, this was never about being a free agent or playing a game. I mean, he didn't even want to go out there and play the market. It was never in his thoughts. There were some personal issues that were at work, and he didn't get into that. I didn't ask. So that, whatever it was, I guess got resolved. But the other thing was, and Anthony said this week, he said, I asked him about this, and he said, I thought about the prospect of not being in that room with those guys, and I just really enjoy it. And he said once he got back to training, this offseason, not knowing what he was going to do, he kind of just got back into training in the event that he did decide to play. And he said, you know what, it started to grow on him again, and he enjoyed it. I think he just got rejuvenated. And sometimes, if you love something, I think the idea of not doing it again, it maybe kind of is a wake-up call, right? So I think it just kind of worked out for him, and he kind of resolved his emotions and decided to play again. I do agree, though. I did expect it to be a year-to-year thing, but he decided physically he feels so good that he's in for 2 more years. That I was surprised by, but it's a big boost for the Colts. And this is not just a contractual thing. He says he's in. He has told them he's going to play both years. So that's a positive for the Colts for sure.
All right, good stuff there. All right, and the trade, DeForest Buckner, they give up the 13th pick in the first round for the stud defensive lineman. Talk a little bit about that.
So, look, I like this deal. I mean, I know people are leery, fans are leery when you talk about giving up a first-round pick in a trade. I get that, especially for a defensive player. But this is different. I think here's a guy, he turned 26 years old 2 days ago. This guy's in his prime, and this is a position that elite players don't come available. Elite defensive tackles just don't come on the market. Chris Jones is not a free agent. I mean, he's a franchise. Technically, I guess he's a free agent, but you're not getting Chris Jones, not unless you're giving up a ton. So you're going to have to, at best case scenario, to get these elite defensive linemen, you're going to have to give up a ton anyway. Number 2, with the number 13 pick, you're not finding DeForest Buckner at number 13. That's not happening. So, look, the compensation, I don't always love these deals that require compensation on both ends, right? The trade compensation plus having to pay the guy $20 million a year. I don't always love those deals, but I think this one, I think it works. I think it's just one of those unique situations where it's like, all right, there's no other way you're getting this guy. This is an all-pro type of guy here. And I think the Colts, with the 4-3 system they play, they need a difference maker at 3-technique defensive tackle, and they just weren't close to getting one. So this, I think, takes care of their biggest issue on defense, and it's going to have a ripple effect throughout that unit.
All right, and so a lot of people thought that 13th pick for the Colts, they might be going Jordan Love or something along those lines. So does this mean they are out of the quarterback market? Because I know you're bringing in Phillip Rivers, but it's on a 1-year contract. So are they still going to look for a quarterback in this draft, maybe later on in the draft?
I think they have to. It doesn't mean that it happens, but I think they have to be in that frame of mind. They have 2 second-round picks, so that gives them opportunity, whether that be trading up, whether that be waiting to see if someone falls. I did think that they had an eye on Jordan Love. I don't disagree with that. I think the problem for the Colts was, all right, if you're sitting there at 13, there are so many scenarios ahead of you. And some of those scenarios could result in you not getting your guy. So I just don't think there was any kind of assurance. I don't know that was a gamble they were willing to take. I mean, were they really getting Jordan Love? Could they comfortably say they were going to get him? There's no way they could say that, right? You would have to make a deal, most likely, to insure it, and you're never sure you can make those deals. You know, you just don't know if that's going to happen, if you can pull it off. So I just think the idea of sort of settling in on Jordan Love or Justin Herbert, for that matter, I don't think that was smart. And I think the Colts realized that was going to be a long shot, potentially, and they made what they thought was a better use of their 13th pick. What I'd say, though, is, yes, I think they got to be in the quarterback market. They only have an answer for 1 year, and that doesn't get you very far. They think they can win now, but they are a young team, and so they've got to be thinking about the quarterback of the future, and they got to be thinking about that now.
So if you think they're still in the quarterback market later on in the draft, who's the name that intrigues you or you might have heard?
Well, it's fluid. We'll see. I mean, this scenario just came up, but I do think they have been kind of thinking about that. I remember Jim Irsay about a month ago, he kind of talked about quarterback scenarios, and he said, well, you know, it could be a later round pick, and I was like, all right, well, yeah, maybe. But now I'm like, man, maybe this was something they were thinking about the whole time, maybe that approach. I don't know who they're looking at, but I tell you, you're one guy who just, man, listen, I know this is not a shocker. A lot of people are curious about it, but one guy who just intrigues me is just Jalen Hurts, man. And I just think he's a guy who, in the right place, in the right system, with the right coach, I don't know, man. I don't know that we can really predict what this guy can be. I think his ceiling is potentially very, very high. But I don't know. I'm not the expert, but that guy just intrigues the hell out of me. And with 2 second-round picks, I mean, hey, the Colts are a team that can take that kind of chance, you know? So there are other guys, certainly. And, you know, Fromm is a guy who I think can fit their system, Jake Fromm. So there's some options there. And I know the Colts have been evaluating all of them. So they're definitely in the market, and I anticipate they're going to strongly consider a quarterback.
Are they going to trade Jacoby Brissett back to the Patriots now that they need a quarterback?
Well, wouldn't that be interesting? I think trading him is something they are open to. I mean, they have to be open to it, right? I mean, they owe him $15 million this year. $7 million bonus coming up on Sunday. He's got $8 million in base salary and per game bonuses. So if you trade for Jacoby Brissett after Sunday, you would be on the hook for $8 million, which, you know, for a guy who has started a lot of games, is probably not that bad. So, you know, is he a high level starter? No, but is he a guy who can start or at least be an elite backup, yes, he's both of those things. So I think there's got to be at least some conversation. The problem they're going to have, though, is there's a lot of glut right now at quarterback in terms of availability, right? I mean, what's going to happen with Cam Newton? What's going to happen with Jameis? All these other guys. I guess Joe Flacco apparently is getting cut, right? So there's a lot of guys out there, and Jacoby Brissett is going to, if he gets thrown into that mix, then that's another guy. So that's the problem. They're not in a strong negotiating position with all these other guys being available. So that's going to work against the Colts trading Jacoby Brissett.
Yes and no to a certain extent. Just let me run this by you. Jameis Winston is not going to be an easy quarterback to bring on your team as a backup because in his mindset, he's a starter. Flacco's another guy that is going to carry himself like a starter, and so if you bring him onto your team as a backup, that's going to be tough. Whereas Brissett will, he might be disappointed that he's not starting, but he's such a professional that he will transition into and understand, okay, I'm the backup. I'm good with that. I've done it before. I'll do it again, that kind of stuff. Brissett will carry himself a different way than Jameis Winston. Brissett has maturity. Winston, he's kind of lost. He's the guy that's telling you, I've thrown 30 interceptions, but I'm balling. You know what I mean? Like Jacoby, Jacoby Brissett would never tell you I'm balling when he throws 30 interceptions because he's a smart level.
Right. I don't disagree with you. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I do think the quarterback sort of disposition or outlook of the situation, I do think that matters when you're talking about a possible backup role. That's definitely important. I mean, Jacoby Brissett has sat behind Andrew Luck for a couple of years, so he understands. He knows what it's like, and he knows what it takes. He was actually, during that time, 2018, during that season, he was very, very involved in the game planning. He actually, I think, took on assignments from the offensive coordinator in terms of film breakdown. So, I mean, he was an active part of their success in 2018 when they went to the second round of the playoffs, even though he was not playing. So he's embraced that role before. I think, in the right situation, he'd embrace it again. So, and if you need him to play, look, I think he's a guy who's won some games, man. They were 5-2 and in first place going into their bye or coming out of their bye last season until things kind of fell apart both with him and around him. So it wasn't just a matter of Jacoby Brissett sort of faltering. There were a lot of things going wrong there as well. So if you need to play, you can stick the guy in there and he's going to handle it. It won't phase him at all.
I'm with you there. So just out of curiosity, what do you think of the Dolphins and their moves from afar since you're a South Florida
boy?
Man.
Hey, go Fish, man. Listen, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing potentially some excitement about the Dolphins down there. I know, look, all my friends still down there. They're all lifelong Dolphins fans. I hear about it all the time, all the complaining and the grumbling. And I got some really faithful Dolphin fans among my friends, and sometimes I question their sanity. But the point is, I hope they get rewarded finally with something to cheer for, man. It's just good to see people excited about football in South Florida. I think they're excited, at least it seems like. It's been a long time, man. Canes, Dolphins, I just want people to have a reason to be excited about football, man. I'm watching from afar. I'm rooting for them. I hope they make it happen.
I think they are, dude. I love what they've done. I think most of the contracts have been very manageable. The Jones one is the one that's kind of crazy. Yeah. But he's still a good corner, so you got to pay for corners, and it is what it is. But
that's right.
I love what they're doing, man. I think Chris Greer is going to knock it out of the park, and I think now if they have a great draft, they're going to have a shot, man. Because I don't think the Patriots are really going to bounce back that easily with all the defections on top of Tom Brady. I think this is going to be a really tough year. I don't expect the Patriots to even make the playoffs this year.
Listen, leadership is everything, man. The Dolphins have it at GM and at coach. That is everything. I'll tell you what, man. Listen, I saw it here. Okay, the Colts went from their previous brass to the current brass, and I know last year was maybe a rough year, but you talk about a team that in Chris Ballard, the GM's first year, 4-12. Then they turned that thing around. Obviously, Andrew Luck had a lot to do with that, but they turned that thing around and become a playoff team 1 year later, go to the second round, and have a chance, 2-3 quarters away from going to the AFC Championship game, except there's just too much Mahomes that night. But the point is, that is a hell of a turnaround. You can't obviously replace your Pro Bowl quarterback who retires 2 weeks before the season. That just is what it is. But my point is, those guys got this thing on track quickly. And I really relate that to what the Dolphins have in terms of guys who have a vision and know how to execute it. I think from afar, that's what it looks like. That is everything, man. Direction and execution of the plan. Those are the things that matter.
I'm with you, man. I think right now they finally have all of that in place, and that's why I think we're seeing all of this. They won 5 games with no talent last year. That to me was just freaking absolutely amazing. So, what are your thoughts of Brady with the Bucks?
It's a little bit of an odd fit, I think, and just from a scheme standpoint. I think we all know Bruce Arians and the type of ball he wants to play, so he's going to have to adjust. He ain't changing Tom Brady, okay? He's 43, and it's not even about changing him. It's about playing the type of game he can play at 43.
Right.
This ain't the 2008 version thrown to Randy Moss. This is different. So, Tom Brady's a guy who's going to get the ball out of his hand, make the right decisions, and put the ball in play and keep the chains moving. That's what he does. And I think he does that well, or can do that well, but that ain't Bruce Arians' game. So I don't know, man. But much like I just said about enjoying the fact that the Dolphins fans have something to be excited about, I am enjoying the fact that these Buccaneers fans, and I was there for 8 years covering that team before coming to Indy. I am happy for those fans having something to get excited about, or at least just some intrigue, right? It may not work, but they're sure as hell excited about it. They're invested now. They got something to look forward to. And the one thing I'd say, though, is he got some weapons there, man, and they've got a hell of a pass rush as well. If they can fill up their secondary, I think they'll have a more complete team. They got to be able to stop people's passing games, but they got some talent on that team, and they got stars all over that roster. If they can put something together, maybe they won't need that much from Brady.
And dude, when you have a quarterback, everybody just raises their game because they know they have a shot. So that's also going to help them. And Bruce Arians, for once in his life, is going to throw to the tight end more than he ever has because Tom Brady.
What's up with that?
Tom Brady is going to use Cameron Brate and OJ a lot. Bet your ass on that because he wants to use the tight end. I don't know why Bruce doesn't do it. Mike Martz was like that too. Greatest Show on Turf. If you remember, they didn't really use the tight end on the Greatest Show on Turf. And whenever he went to Chicago and he didn't use Greg Olsen. They had to trade him away. And then he goes to Detroit, and it was like that. Bruce and Mike Martz are two guys that in their offense, the tight end disappears, dude. But this time, it's going to reappear. Even fantasy players can use the Bucs tight ends under Bruce Arians because Tom Brady will force that issue, and Bruce will have to adjust to that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. If I'm those tight ends, I think this is the best thing that's ever happened to me if I'm them.
Yes.
And, you talk about it's not just Bruce, it's also, it is the quarterback. I mean, Jameis isn't looking, touchdown, check down.
Right.
They teach quarterbacks supposedly to read touchdown, check down, right?
Right.
Jameis is looking touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. And so that's just how he is, right? He's a gunslinger. He's a favorite, man. That's who he is. And so I think Tom Brady obviously has a much different outlook on it, and he's going to put those guys to work. And I think that could be the difference, man. That opens things up, underneath. It opens up things over the top, so you have those opportunities as well. I love that potential there. I think that team, like I said, so much talent. It's about the utilization. And if they can put it together, they got something.
And let me ask you something. Where the hell does Jameis end up now, dude? Because everything's drying up, and he wants to be a starter. I mean, I could think of maybe Belichick giving him a shot, but Belichick hates the turnovers. So I don't know how Belichick gets through that part unless he's convinced that he can coach him up. But where else could Jameis Winston end up at?
Well, I guess now there's buzz about Washington. I don't know what their plans are. Necessarily for they already have a quarterback, right? I mean, how do they see him, and what are their plans for him? I don't know, but that may be a potential landing spot, I guess. I think for New England, it would be interesting. It would be the ultimate sort of Bill Belichick test, right? Okay, if you're the greatest coach of all time, okay, fix this guy. All right, let's see you do that. That would certainly, I think, solidify his case that he is remastered. I mean, he already is, but that would just further enshrine him in that place. It would be interesting, but I will say, I mean, listen, they don't have a ton of great options right now. So, but neither does Jameis. And as I said earlier, there are only so many landing spots left for these guys, and there's a lot of quarterbacks out there looking for a job. So, I don't know, man. Jameis may have to humble himself depending on how this thing plays out. I'm very interested to see how it goes, because I agree with what you said earlier. He's probably not an ideal fit for every situation, just because of his outlook and how he sees himself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Confidence is good, but he's been the star since the day he walked on the campus at Florida State. So, I mean, this is going to be tough for him if he's not that, having to go somewhere else and be maybe a guy who competes for a job. That is something he's never had to do.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows the word or or the sensation, but he should be getting humbled right about now. Now, the question is, does he even know how to be humble? I don't know. That's
you may not have a choice, man.
Yeah. Follow him on Twitter at Holder Steven, and catch his work there at The Athletic, covering the Colts on a daily basis. Steven, as always, my man, stay safe. Thank you for taking some time. Always appreciate it.
All right, my man. Anytime. Got you.
You got it, baby. There you go. Steven Holder, man. Good dude. Miami guy. Was down here for a long time. Went to Tampa for a little bit. Been in Indy now for a while, covering the Colts. It's the business, baby. You'll travel a lot. He's such a good dude. Steven Holder, man. Follow him on Twitter at Holder Steven. And we'll have Michelle Kaufman, by the way, at the top of the hour. She'll be joining us, so we'll have a little fun with Michelle. We'll get into conversations with Michelle now that might be a little different than we normally get into, because she's been doing a lot of the Corona coverage. And, she's a parent. I should have asked Steven about this too, but I'm going to ask Michelle about it, because I'm sure she saw the sound bites of the idiots on spring break. And I just wonder, because, her daughter's too smart to do something like that, and my daughter's too smart. We're blessed that we have the kind of kids that have some common sense and they won't act like that. But I wonder how she would act if her daughter or her son was one of those kids that was on there. Hey, I don't care about Corona. I just want to party.
If I get Corona, I get Corona.
Oh, God.
Highly educated children.
Oh, man. That is just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. By the way, Eddie Pineda is here to save you. If your warehouse is out of whack, you got to call Pallet Rack City, man. 305-887-9212. Your one-stop shop for all your warehouse needs. They buy and sell new and used pallet racking. Largest used racking inventory in South Florida. Proud sponsors of our show. Call Eddie Pineda right now. Straighten out that warehouse. If it's looking like a mess, get those racks, man. And if you're selling the business and you want to get rid of the racks, call Eddie Pineda, 305-887-9212 for Pallet Rack City.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Well, the economy is hurting right now. The market is plunging. People are losing their jobs. We got small businesses all across this country going down, but the Tampa Bay Bucks, they're working on business. Why? The Buccaneers have adjusted their prices for their tickets. Yep. And according to Greg Allman from The Athletic, the Buccaneers have bumped the price of all non-club seats at Raymond James Stadium by 15%. That's right, baby. When you add Tom Brady, you raise ticket prices. Season tickets, they increase from ranges of $135 to $255 based on 10 home games for the regular season and preseason. There you go.
But that didn't take them long, huh?
No, not at all. You signed Tom Brady, you got to start charging more money. You want to see the GOAT, you got to pay, baby. You got to pay. Are the Bucks playing the Patriots this year? They are, right? I
did hear that, yes, they are.
They are.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is up in New England.
So wait a minute. That means we play them too, right? So we get to kick Tom Brady's ass this year, even in a Bucks uniform?
That would be so sweet.
I like it. I like it. Is that true?
As for a matter of fact,
check it out if the Dolphins have the Bucks on the schedule. If they do, Tom Brady, you're going to get an ass kicking.
They were talking to Teddy Bruschi about blah, 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 and Brady and then and I think they're going to be in New England, and I will be on the sideline to watch Brady in a different uniform at the New England game.
Well, he's getting his physical today in New York, so they're going to use a neutral doctor to do the physical. Not his doctor, not the Bucks doctor, but the Bucks will be in contact with that doctor, obviously.
Have we heard of anybody else taking a physical yet? Oh,
no.
So this is, special.
It's Tom Brady.
Special.
Tom Brady, bro. Come on. And the Bucks, by the way, the Bucks have a lot of business to do. If you're raising ticket prices, you got to make sure that the guy you're getting
delivered. Yes.
Yeah. So I kind of understand this. And you're using a private doctor. It's not like you're using a hospital doctor and using where that guy could or that woman could be actually taking care of, real patients. That was one of the things that people were afraid of. That
as opposed to the fake patients.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Like the COVID, we got a lot of people. It's important right now. So that's a lot of people were talking about this. That the NFL is having free agency now, and a lot of these players would need doctors. And are you going to start taking up time of other doctors doing physicals with you all day, and they could be taking care of real people that are sick? Are you taking these doctors away to run physicals on hundreds of NFL players and those doctors could be working on patients that really need serious care. That was one of the issues that people brought up. And it's, you know what? A legitimate issue. Legitimate, dude. It's understandable. Now, we all know that the coronavirus is eliminating a lot of things that are fun, right? We're losing our sports. We can't watch basketball. We can't watch the Heat, see if they can stay in the top 4. We can't watch the Panthers choke away another season. You know what I mean? Baseball was about to start. Marlins have a bunch of young guys that we're excited about to see if maybe we could start to grow another team here and keep them around. You know, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things to look forward to, right? And the coronavirus is taking away a lot of that enjoyment. Concerts, those of us that love concerts, maybe you had a get-together planned for your corporation, whatever, those things have been canceled. Picnics, whatever it is that was going on, you were looking forward. You can't go to the movies. I mean, there's a lot of things that we all enjoy. Can't go to parks, can't go to beaches.
Can't go to the mall now.
Can't go to the mall. There's a lot of things out there that we can't enjoy. Well, the coronavirus has cost us one more thing that some of us used to enjoy, some were still enjoying, but now it's done. After 66 years, Playboy, which hits the newsstands this week, will be the last printed. That's right. Founded by late Hugh Hefner, the magazine has become a cultural touch point recognized by 97% of the world's population. Okay? After years of declining sales, the decision has been made to finally stop print edition to focus online content. Ben Cohn, CEO of Playboy Enterprises, said the decision to call it a day was sped up by the coronavirus pandemic. He wrote in an open letter, "Over the past 66 years, we've become far more than a magazine. And sometimes you have to let go of the past to make room for the future. So we're turning our attention to achieving our mission in the most effective and impactful way we can to help create a culture where all people can pursue pleasure. We look forward to continuing to work together with all of you, keep our business strong and growing. Playboy is many things to many people, magazine to many, a lifestyle to many more, an apparel brand, a membership club, and even, according to some, a corrupter of our youth." But throughout the past 66 years, one thing has remained constant: our commitment to free expression and breaking taboos, leaning into discomfort, helping audiences express and understand their sexuality, and advocating for a pursuit of pleasure for all. Once the magazine print run is finished, Playboy Enterprises will move to a digital-first publishing schedule for all of its content, including Playboy Interview 20Q, the Playboy Advisor, and, of course, our Playmate pictorials. Playboy was still being published monthly in 2017, but was recently scaled back to a quarterly mag without ads. In its heyday in the 70s, the magazine had a circulation of more than 7 million across the world. The widespread availability of online porn is largely blamed for the downfall of Playboy. That's weird, isn't it? Because Playboy nudity is completely different than porn. There was always a sense of, I know you can't say classy, but it was like clean nudity. You know what I'm saying? It was just one of those where it was different. You kind of looked at it and you had a higher opinion of a woman in a spread for Playboy than Hustler, Penthouse, whatever.
Exactly what you're talking about. That's why I got a subscription to Playboy for my 12th birthday, because having older cousins and them being into the Hustlers, the nasty, and my parents had a discussion. It was about that's kind of inappropriate. Like, let's give him his own. They've got real articles. We'll ask him about the articles, the interviews of this, and it'll be a classier, it won't be so degraded. So, yeah, for my 12th birthday, I did get a subscription to Playboy.
There you go. It's a different type of 12 back in those days. The magazine first hit the shelves back in 1953 with the edition containing nude pictures of Marilyn Monroe. It was a huge hit and sold 50,000 copies, despite the Hollywood star having never posed for Playboy or consented to her photos being used. Hefner had bought the pictures Monroe had taken in 1949 for $50 when she was jobless. In the early editions, it also had Ray Bradbury's classic novel Fahrenheit 451, cementing then the struggling author's reputation in the process. So they've got all kinds, like on the front cover, they're showing you Dolly Parton and Kim Kardashian. I mean, really, does she have to be on Playboy? Joan Collins, there you go.
She's not Playboy material.
Who, Joan Collins?
No, man, Kardashian. She got everything because of that porno.
Yeah, that's it.
She is a classless.
Yes, I'm with you there. But anyway, so there you go. Playboy is over. You cannot buy the magazine anymore thanks to the coronavirus. It sped up the killing of Playboy. The magazine that brought more kids through puberty than any other magazine in the history of the world. Because it's the one you would find most, too, as a kid in the trash. You're riding bike through the neighborhood, and you see right by the telephone pole there's a dump site. Because remember in all the blocks when we were kids, there was always a spot or two on every block that was a dump site. And that truck with the crane would come by, pick up all the trash. So all that trash was exposed. And a lot of times you drive by, you see some magazines. Whoa, there's a Playboy there. And that's it. It was on. You didn't care it was in the trash. You're 10 years old. There was no Corona. Hell, Corona beer wasn't around at 10 years old here in this country. I'm talking about 40-something years ago, folks, okay? All right? Just so you know. All right, I love it. All right, 786.
Go ahead.
322-1105 on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. So the coronavirus kills Playboy magazine.
That's amazing, man. I mean, you're 66 years, it's an institution, man.
Yes. And so you know that right now, while the coronavirus is going on, there's a lot of us that have a lot of time on our hands, right? We're not going to work. We're doing less and less.
Are you saying some people could use the Playboy?
Well, no. What I'm saying is people have time on their hands now. They're screwing around. They got nothing to do. They're posting crazy stuff on social media. They're probably calling friends and family members they haven't talked to in a while to check in on them, things like that, right? Well, Tyler Hero now. Tyler's kind of been injured for a while for the Miami Heat, and now the coronavirus, the team is completely off. He's got more time on his hand. So since he's got time on his hands, he actually went after Kyle Kuzma's ex-girlfriend, IG girlfriend. She's an Instagram girlfriend. And her name, by the way, is Katya Elise Henry. Okay? And I got to tell you something. Katya is super talented. I'm just going to tell you this. So first of all, Tyler sends her a tweet, what you doing? Why, WYD to Katya Elise Henry, right? So she says quarantine and chill. So he's taking his shots there at her. Now, I want to show you guys because we haven't, we don't know about anything else so far with her, if they've hooked up or anything along those lines. If you want to know Katya Elise Henry, what she looks like, that's what she looks like. Here you go, Bill. There you go. That's talent. Right there.
That's thick.
Yes. Yep. That's a bootay if you've ever seen a bootay. She's cute. I'll tell you that. She's cute. She's good looking. Let's see. There you go. Let me see if we can. There you go. Nice big picture with big bootay. Katya Elise Henry. How about Tyler Hero working it? Working it big time.
He's 20, man. He just turned 20. He could do that stuff.
He should do that stuff. He should do that stuff over and over again if he can do it. With Katya. There you go. Huh? Katya's kind of talented.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, just a tad.
And all she has to do is show up. She doesn't have to talk. She doesn't have to.
Nothing. Instagram model. There you go.
By the way,
Tyler Hero is making use of his dead time. He is doing productive things because when you go after that, now, Tyler, be careful. You know, she could have corona. But then again, you see that, it might be worth the corona. I don't know. I don't know how you want to look at that. Some of you out there might say, oh, that is worth the corona. Okay? Some of you that are watching right now on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, you saw Katya Elise Henry. Is she worth corona? I'm just asking. What would you do? Katya says, let's go. Let's Netflix and chill. But I have corona. What are you doing? Well, what's the answer on the YouTube board
call me
right
as
now?
soon as you get cured.
Really? That's what you're doing? I think plenty of guys who saw those pictures are going to go,
You know what, dude?
You know
if
what?
you're in a position to get with that girl, you got plenty of girls.
Yeah,
okay?
but okay.
So you don't. Man. There's
I'm
other
just saying.
fish in the sea, baby. If you're getting stuff like that, you can get others.
Kayo Doodle 1 says, if she got corona, take the lime to her house. Oh, that's funny. Ty says, I've never been a fan of women nor porn. Very distasteful. Big O show. Shame. You're not? You're not a fan of it? You never picked up a Playboy when you were a kid? Seriously? Like, I don't go for Playboys now because I'm old now, but when I was a kid, come on, man, you had to.
I couldn't tell you the last time I actually saw like a magazine like that.
Yeah,
Man, it's been forever.
Forever, dude. Mike No Go Zone says, damn, that IG model is hot. Yeah, she is.
You know, it's probably the last. Here, something along those lines would probably be the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model issue.
Right. Oh,
that
yeah.
would be
that. I have seen.
Yeah,
that I have seen. The swimsuit
but
model
if you
issue.
if you take that out of the equation,
yeah, that I've seen over the last couple of years. I will admit. Hey, Big O, great show. Help us get through these trying days. Sorry if you answered this before, but interested in your opinion of Mike Lombardi. Mike. All right. I would say. He's all right.
Here, by the way, we have the schedule. Obviously, no dates, but we are playing the NFC West. So we have San Fran, and it looks like San Fran on the road.
Right, well, I know that one, yeah.
Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
Hook it up with the Dolphin game out there and you
Yeah.
guys doing a concert.
That's what we're hoping for.
Obviously, the Raiders, Jets, New England, naturally. It looks like Arizona will be on the road, Denver on the road, Jacksonville on the road.
Oh, and by the way, now that you mentioned Pearl Jam, got the answer. Our listener reached out on the accidentlawfirm.com text line and gave it to me from the Dominican. Polly Bag of Donuts. Got to give you love, Polly Bag of Donuts, because you're the one that sent it. Punta Cana Hard Rock Hotel and Casino is where Guns N' Roses will be at.
Yes!
Okay? And I'm going to that. It's like November 8th. I think it is November 8th. Guns N' Roses in the Dominican Republic. If we're out of this by then, which I hope so. We're out of it by
Man,
then.
we're talking November, man. That's 8 months.
I hope
would
so, man.
certainly hope so.
I would hope so. We're out of it. I gotta go see them in the Dominican. That's gonna be that's a cool concert right there to go to.
I gotta say, man, Denver road trip, on the road. Obviously, Jacksonville's right up the road. Depending on concerts, we're gonna do the Jets. We've already talked about.
Yes.
Vegas, and I love it. It does say the Raider emblem at Las Vegas. That
Yes.
looks so cool.
Yep.
And right underneath it is San Fran. So San Fran's in play as well.
Even cooler will be the idea that we get to see them on the road. That will be a lot of fun, man. A lot of
Tommy
fun.
Rockers finally.
Yes. I'm sure Tommy is looking forward to us getting out there and doing a little some. I'm looking forward to that. Did you see the numbers? I told you about the numbers in Italy from the coronavirus, right? That they went up 475 in one day. They
had 475, but just 2 or 3 days earlier, it was at 350. So it went up 125 in 3 days, the death total.
Yeah, and in Spain, the same thing happened. Also, they also had, a brutal climb also in deaths, also in Spain. So it's going on in different parts of the world, man. We're seeing this thing just grow, and that's where I'm terrified of what we're doing here in this country, and I think it's going to get a lot worse over the next couple months. That's why I think we all hate this, but I think because we've been irresponsible, and it's everybody, it's all over the place. I'm not pointing at one person because that would be irresponsible. Plenty of people are responsible for all of this, not just knuckleheaded spring breakers. And so that's what I fear. Now, while we've got all this self-quarantine going on and all that stuff, you know Avenged Sevenfold, right? Well, they're doing something really cool. If you're an Avenged Sevenfold fan, I want you to listen to this because you might be able to win some free stuff. All right? While the majority of the population seems to understand the importance of self-quarantine amid the coronavirus pandemic right now, Avenged Sevenfold has given fans an extra reason to stay home during this strange and unsettling time. The Metal Titans just announced the hashtag Incentivize Quarantine initiative, in which they will send fans free merch for proving that they're isolating themselves and doing their part to stop the spread of COVID-19 for 7 straight days. We are developing a check-in web page where you will upload a selfie at home when prompted by us via our Instagram story at a random time. The band announced in a statement, whoever successfully uploads a selfie with the phrase of the day written on a piece of paper within 30 minutes of that post, 7 days in a row, you will receive a free t-shirt, hoodie, or accessory from Avenged Sevenfold. We have a chance to flatten out the curve and save countless lives. We are all in it together. Don't worry about the perfect. You can start your 7 days at any point. So if you miss a check-in, just start again, and you'll be at 7 before you know it. In addition, we will be closing the Avenged Sevenfold world for now. We encourage you to support your favorite independent artists, brands, and businesses during this time of uncertainty. How cool is that? You're going to be home anyway, right? You follow them on Instagram. You're there all day, all night, right? Whenever they said, hey, send us a thing, boom, you send it in within a half hour. You're there all day. So they'll probably send it randomly in the morning, afternoon, or in the evening to catch you there at home, right? And so if you do it and you're going to be home, there you go. I mean, think about it. You could do this stuff with Avenged Sevenfold and have some fun. There's Bono singing to you. There's, what's it called? What's his name now? London, the piano.
Chris Martin?
Oh, Chris Martin also.
Coldplay?
Chris Martin also. But I'm thinking of, The R&B guy with the piano, man. Married to the model with the big forehead. What's her name, man? It's London, I think.
Forehead lover guy.
Yeah, she's got a big forehead. She's a model.
He loves foreheads.
She's like really, really cool. She's got a great personality. Somebody help me out there. His name is London. Plays the piano. Sings great. He's freaking phenomenal. Why am my brain farting? Damn it.
Because you're trying. That's why. If you.
Anyway, so he was doing a concert too. While we're stuck at home or whatever and all that kind of stuff, you got things to do. We're doing a little bit here, trying to help you guys a little bit, entertain, inform, talk about all kinds of different little things going on. Did you guys send it to me here? Will Greer kill it or kill the draft? Okay, thank you. Bowie. No, not Bowie. Bowie's dead. He's alive.
You hung out with a lot of models.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm sure there was a big-headed, four-headed model that he dated. At some
John
point.
Legend. There it is, not London. Legend. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. John Legend. Damn it. I'm an idiot. Trying to remember this crap.
Tell me, Johnny, what has he won for giving us that correct answer? Absolutely nothing.
Yes. Oh, you should follow.
But thank you for the info.
But you should follow Mike No Go Zones for helping us out anyway. He's got a great channel on YouTube, Mike No Go Zones, and you have to see his latest episode with Syria. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, actually, the video's really cool. Check it out. You got time.
Did you see the promo I sent you?
Yes.
No, you didn't.
He sent it to me.
Did you watch it for real?
We actually talked the other night, man.
Did you watch
really
it for
cool
real?
Guy.
Did you watch it for real?
I haven't had time.
Yeah, I figured that. I knew it. I knew he didn't watch it, bro. I know his ass. Been around him for 40 years.
All I do is work Monday through Friday when I get done. The only thing I do on the weekend, the best of and some.
He sent it yesterday.
Up.
It takes 90 seconds to watch a killer ass video he made.
You know what I've been doing, man? Spending time with my family.
You know how much?
Is that okay?
Yeah. The worst part about that video is that he put you in it a lot, which he shouldn't have, because you ruined the video. But Mike, can still post it.
Thanks a lot, there, buddy.
You're just gonna scare the crap out of everybody by using Bill so much in that video. Damn. I think he used Bill more than Mike himself and me. Guaranteed. I mean, you give him a lot of airtime. Why isn't the
Best
MLS
looking thing should get airtime, bro?
Following La Liga Mexicana lead, playing games without fans? There's no sport right now that could increase a fan base. Call of Doodle, because we're not dumb like they're doing in Mexico. Okay? You want the God's honest truth? Because we're not dumbasses.
Yeah, they're holding Guns N' Roses concerts and stuff, man. I like, what?
You cannot be holding groups of people, okay? You can't. You're going to be spreading the virus. And there's going to be players that look at the NBA. The NBA wanted to do the same thing. And now players are coming through that they tested positive. What do you think happens when all these sweaty players are playing against each other every night, all over each other? Of course they're going to spread the damn virus. You can't do this in any way, shape, or form. So what Mexico's doing is wrong. Just like by them they had a concert 2 nights ago. Whitesnake and what was the other band? It was Whitesnake and Scorpions. Viva Latina or Latino or something called the festival. It's crazy. So you brought thousands of people together. You're spreading the virus. You're just going to create more problems. That's the reason why we all need to stay apart for a little bit.
We need to get ready for Michelle Kaufman, sir.
All right, let's do it. Michelle Kaufman will join us on the other side. We will, we will talk Inter there. Very little Inter because there's really not much to talk about. We'll talk a lot of life, a lot of Corona with her because she's been carrying that or drinking it. I'm not sure. This might lead us to drink a lot of Coronas. We're avoiding Corona, but then we'll buy Corona. Right? I don't know. Anyway, Michelle Kaufman. Then Fernando Ramirez is going to join us at 2:30. He covers the Chargers for NBC out there. So we'll talk a little Chargers with him. Let's take a break. We will start the final hour of the show live from Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we are back, and of course, we're going to do our Inter Report today. We normally do it on Wednesdays with Michelle Kaufman. But Michelle is not covering a lot of Inter. She's covering a lot of life right now and a lot of coronavirus for the Miami Herald. And, of course, you can follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports. And, Michelle, let's start it off. First of all, how are you doing? How's the family? Everybody safe? Everybody dealing with all of this the right way?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird time. You know, our daughter's supposed to be at Duke. She's a sophomore in college, and during her spring break finds out, you know, that's it. The campus is closed. So not only is she not going back, but all her stuff is there. All of her clothes, all of her books, all of her belongings, everything is at Duke in the dorm rooms, and they can't retrieve them. So now they're starting this coming Monday. Their classes are going to resume online. Their professors have been in touch with them, but they don't have their books or their notebooks from the first half of the semester. So the university is actually going into every dorm room, and they have the students send them a list. They're not sending you personal belongings as far as clothing or decorations or things like that, but they're going in to retrieve books, notebooks, laptops, passports and keys, and medicine. Any of those 5 or 6 items, the students have to write a little list and say, like, you know, my red notebook that's on my desk and my this medicine or whatever. And the university staff is going in one by one to every dorm room, and they're shipping. Duke is paying to ship a box home to each student of their main essentials. And also, they got a notice saying that there would be no disciplinary action for anything they may find in your room. Because some students were reluctant. My daughter was saying, some students were reluctant to fill out the form because they didn't really want people going into their room and sifting through whatever they may find. The university is saying there will be no disciplinary action for anything they may find in your room.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Are they going to keep your stash? Like, okay, you won't be disciplined, but I'm taking your stash. That's no fun. You get back to your dorm and your joints are gone. I mean, come on. That just ruins the experience.
Oh, my God. But anyway, it's crazy. I mean, it's a crazy time. I've actually been working. They shifted me over. Well, right now I'm actually about to post an Inter Miami story, so there you go. But I
was going to ask you about that. That's the extension now for 60 days.
Yeah, they extended it for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
They extended it for 8 weeks instead of 4, so it's 1 more month. So I just did a story that I'm about to post actually momentarily. But basically, because there are no sports going on, they reassigned me to be the coronavirus tourism writer, focusing on hotels and airlines and Airbnbs and stuff. So we have someone covering the cruise industry. I'm helping out on the hotels and airports, which I just did in the last 2 days. I had 2 stories already. One of them ran on A1 today about the hotels. The Miami-Dade hotel occupancy last week was 90% full, and this week it's 20% and dropping.
Wow.
So it went from 90% to 20% in 1 week, and a lot of hotels are going to start closing as of this weekend. So, the Diplomat, which has 1,000 rooms in Hollywood, a big convention hotel, they're shutting down this weekend. A big group of South Beach hotels are going to start closing. It's affecting about 150,000 local workers that are in the hospitality area. So everyone who works at those hotels is going to be out of work in the next few days, a lot of them, most of them. So it's a pretty big story from this area of South Florida tourism is absolutely the number one industry here. It employs the most people, makes the most money for this region. And, tourism is the first thing to go. When there's a crisis and people have limited money, the first thing they cross off their list is vacations and travel. And especially now with the travel bans, you have travel bans where people aren't even allowed to travel, don't want to travel, and not to mention the economic constraints people are under now too. So it's really a horrible time to be in the tourism industry, and we are in the heart of the tourism industry right here in South Florida. So that is why they put me on that beat, because they need help. There are so many stories on that beat right now that our normal beat writer couldn't even handle all the stories that are coming off that beat. So for now, all the sports writers who are not covering the Dolphins have been reassigned to do other things. So, it's a strange time, but Jordan McPherson, our baseball writer, is doing some news stuff, and Anthony Chang, our Heat writer, is not covering the Heat anymore, and I'm covering tourism, and it's really, we're all having to adjust. What can I tell you? We're all having to adjust.
All right, so let me ask you a question about tourists and how it would make you a really pissed off parent, just out of curiosity. Did you see that audio that CBS was running where they had several spring breakers and they were all talking, they were in Fort Lauderdale, and they're all talking about how they don't care about the corona, and if they get it, it is what it is, but I want to party. Did you hear those sound bites?
I did, and those are really stupid people.
Okay,
I'm sorry to
to
anyone. If that's your child and you're listening, I'm sorry, but that's not what my daughter and her friends.
Right.
That's not what my daughter and her friends are doing. My daughter is sitting here.
I got to ask you this, all right? Because fortunately for you and me, all right, Sophie would never do that. Caitlin would never do that. We didn't raise them to do and act that way, right? But think about our kids actually doing that. I would go so old school. I don't care if I lived in Cincinnati and my child, I saw them on CBS down in Fort Lauderdale doing that. I would drive down, grab them by the ear y darle unos pescozones. You know what I'm saying? And
Un
drag
chancletazo. A major chancletazo.
Yes, y volar un avión, as we used to say, and throw them in back seat and say, "You're getting your ass back home," right? I mean, I can't imagine those parents having to watch their kids act like that. And you know, it's the worst part, Michelle, is that in your neighborhood, everybody knows you and knows your kid, so they're all seeing that too. And so it's just like, oh man, can you imagine being the parent of those kids? How they must be so embarrassed that they're acting like that.
Yeah, no, that's just stupidity, and that's just people, trying to get a rise out of people or whatever. I don't think I know that Sophie and her friends, they are all quarantining. Sophie has finished one 1,000-piece puzzle and now is very close to finishing her second 1,000-piece puzzle. Dave, my husband, actually just went to Target to buy more puzzles because this is what she's doing right now while she's waiting for her classes to resume. She's been doing these big, gigantic puzzles on our dining room table. And then the other thing that's been happening with their generation is they're doing, what is it called, Netflix?
Yes.
Netflix Party?
Yes.
Netflix Party is a thing that they're doing now where you watch a Netflix show at the same exact time as someone else in real time, and then on your computer, and then it has like a little chat room on the side. And so you can, it's almost like you're watching a show with your friends because you're making comments and stuff. So Sophie was telling me that among her friend group, that has become a really popular thing. Like last night she watched that 70s show with somebody who's in Philadelphia. And, they watch it as if they're watching together, but they're separated, by a couple thousand miles. But they're watching together at the same time and commenting on the jokes and whatever. So, they're finding ways to stay connected with social media and with Netflix and the Party and all these different things. And then I'm going to be teaching, that I teach a class at the University of Miami, a sports journalism class. And all the classes, just like at Duke, all the classes at UM are going online starting Monday. So I had to submit a revised syllabus because my normal class, I take my students to the Miami Open tennis tournament. That's not happening. I was going to take them to an Answer Miami practice. That's not happening. They're supposed to go to a Marlins game. That's not going to happen. They're supposed to go to the NFL draft night at the Dolphins. I'm sure that won't happen either. And spring football for UM. So those assignments are out the window. So I've had to come up with a revised syllabus that we can do remotely. And then I've had to train. I did my own little private tutorial in my house of Zoom conferencing because I'm going to have to teach the class on a Zoom teleconference where all the students, I invite them all and they all join my little conference. And I will have all 16 of their little faces on my screen from wherever they are. It's pretty funny. The university sent us a note, all the professors, telling us that when we invite our students to join the Zoom conference that we should remind them that they have to have clothes on because we're going to be able to see them. I'm like, really? Do you really think that these students would get on a conference call naked? But I don't know. They made a point that we should remind students that they should dress with clothes on and accordingly because, we're supposed to be conducting a class, so they don't want them on there, in their underwear or whatever. So anyway, it's going to be weird. It's going to be strange to that I don't see my students the rest of the semester. I'm just going to see them online, and we're going to try to, resume the class and have conversation, and I'm going to have them do writing assignments, but they're going to be off TV or they're going to be things that have nothing to do with going to cover a live event. So everything in my life has been impacted. But, overall, we're in a really sunny, warm place, which, is just lifts your spirits, I think. I know. If you're in a gray, dreary place where it's cold, your mood would be affected. We, at least, when we walk outside, the sun is shining. It's baking on our skin. It's also good for us. They say that the sun is a disinfectant. Vitamin D is good for the immune system. So we're in a warm, sunny place. I have a safe house to be in. I'm with my family. I am still employed. I feel very fortunate that the Miami Herald, to be honest, right now, journalism, people want information more than ever. The Miami Herald right now this week, I think we're having record numbers of 11 million page views per day.
Wow.
That was as of a couple of days ago. It may be even higher now. but I think 2 days ago we were getting 11 million page views a day. So there is definitely a hunger for news out there and for reliable news, because there's so many rumors and hoaxes and all this crap that gets put out there that people spread around without even checking if it's true. So there's a lot of hoaxes and rumors, and I think that reliable journalism is at a premium right now. And, you know, that's the business that I'm in, and I feel proud of it, that we are still going, not only going, we're going full speed. Every single person in our newsroom is working extra hours, taking on beats that they don't normally cover, just to make sure that the public can stay informed. Because I think right now there's nothing more important than having correct information,
Yes.
reliable information, and just people don't panic. You know, we want to inform without panicking. And I think print journalism still, I have some friends that are panicking and freaking out, and because they're watching TV all day, 24/7, they have the TV on. And I don't care what channel you're watching. If you're watching visually all these talking heads and they're all hyperventilating over each case that comes back positive, you know, it can make you very, very nervous. And I actually worry more, or equally, about our nation's mental health, you know, as a result of this, as much as the physical, because I think there are a lot of people right now that are teetering between anxiety, panic, depression, and if we get that way as a whole nation, this is going to be a very dangerous place.
Yeah.
So I think we have to stay calm, read the Miami Herald, read print journalism, where it's, you know, you're just looking at words on a paper and getting the information. You're not getting it from hyperventilating people who have political agendas and other things. And, you know, I think we try to present the news as objectively as we can. And I think right now there's really nothing more important. You know, it's interesting. I spoke to a woman a few years ago who was working on a novel. She had been a New York Times reporter, and we were talking about, you know, that no one was reading the news anymore and the demise of our industry and all this stuff. And she said she was working on a novel, and I just thought of it this week, the conversation. She said, I'm going to do a novel where there's a huge, epidemic or crisis in the world, and all these people who had dropped their subscriptions and didn't care about journalism, and, you know, journalism had gone in the toilet, but all of a sudden when there was a crisis, people were craving reliable news and information. And so they started up a newspaper again in this kind of a society. And this is a novel that she was writing, that in a crisis time like this, whether it's a hurricane, a pandemic, or terrorist attacks, I think people want reliable news. And I still think that the newspaper business, we still do a darn good job of it. I know we're not perfect. We make a lot of mistakes. But I think if you were to read the Miami Herald coverage of coronavirus right now, you would be very, very well informed and without completely panicking.
Well, just to kind of get into the panic mode a little bit, that is some of the stuff you were talking about. And I don't want to raise any panic, but since you are kind of covering it now, not kind of, actually covering it now on an everyday basis, and I see what's going on in Italy, and I see what's going on supposedly in China, because they are communists, so maybe they're giving us the information that they want. Are we headed more in the direction of Italy because we have still allowed people to, and still there are 7 states that are still not mandating people to, you know, they're not closing things down. They're still, like Texas, they're not doing it. You can still gather and get people together. They may suggest it, but they're not closing things down, including schools in those states. So are we headed in that direction where as we start to get massive testing, we're going to find out a lot of people have it and it's going to become a widespread problem? Or are we doing enough that we are going to curb it in the next month or two? What is your feeling since
I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm definitely not an expert. I think we're doing a lot. I mean, I think we're doing a lot more than Italy did early on. You know, Italy let things go a long time. It's a very congested place. You know, I think that we're doing as much separation in most cities. I mean, for sure here everything is closed. I just went. My mom needed me to take something to the post office in Coconut Grove, and I mean, it made me sad, to be honest. I drove into Coconut Grove, and it was a ghost town. There wasn't nothing was open. All of the restaurants, stores, ice cream shop, everything completely shut down. Nobody on the streets. The only people I see in our neighborhood are people walking their dogs and taking bike rides, but the traffic is almost nothing. Closing schools, closing universities, closing every single thing except grocery stores and drug stores pretty much at this point. I think we're separating ourselves as much as we can. And, yeah, there are going to be a lot of numbers. There also are, lots of, 40,000 people that died of the flu in this flu, the last couple flu seasons. So this past year was 16,000. In this flu season of 1920, 16,000 people, Americans, died of the flu. And 40,000 died of the flu 2 years before. People do die of things. We don't normally get a headline every time somebody dies of something. We don't get a headline. So I do think there is some, I'm not saying it's not important. It's of course important, but we also have to keep things in perspective and trust that the people making these decisions are informed and doing the right thing and leading us in the right direction. And, the fact that people are going to test positive, a lot of people test positive, way more test positive for the regular flu and for other diseases. And we just we're not hearing about it 24/7. If we did, we would have never left the house. If we wrote if we had headlines every time someone died of the flu in a nursing home or in a hospital over the last 10 years, none of us would have ever left our house. So I think we have to maintain calm. I think it's important to do the right things, to separate, to wash our hands, stay away from sick people. We're all separating now and going into our quarantines in our homes, and I think that's a good decision for this point in time. But I don't think that it's the apocalypse. I don't think that we're all going to die. This is just me speaking. I think there are always diseases. We had the swine flu. The numbers for the swine flu were huge in 2009. The swine flu killed 151,000 people worldwide and 12,000 in the United States. But I also think that we need to somehow maintain our sanity. And so that's what I'm trying to do. That's what my family's trying to do.
So what's going to happen to these hotels? Because if they're not going to have tourists for the next couple of months, how do they survive? Because, Michelle, you and I know there's a lot of people that are going to go broke. They're going to file Chapter 11. There's a lot of small businesses that are going to go under, unfortunately. But you're covering a lot of tourism right now. So what are the hotel people telling you? Because I know these chain hotels, they're going to be suffering all over the country, these chain hotels. So the Marriott's going to be shutting down. They laid off tens of thousands of people yesterday. There are 70 Marriott properties in Miami-Dade County alone between all of their different brands. There are going to be major hotel closures. 150,000 people's jobs are going to be at stake. Everyone that I spoke to yesterday, including the COO of the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, he was great. I spoke to him for a long time. He said that they're going to take a huge hit. There's no question. They fully believe that once it passes, they will rebound because Miami is a beautiful place now, and it will be a beautiful place 6 months from now. Our beaches are not going anywhere. Our sunshine is not going anywhere. Our windward walls are not going anywhere. This is still a place that people are going to want to visit once people start traveling again. They're going to do a big push. They said they did it after Zika. The guy who spoke said, look, this is a combination of Zika. It's like Hurricane Andrew, Zika, and the 2009 depression, or 2008 depression, all wrapped in one. It's a major, major trauma to the industry here. It's a major crisis. But after each of those things, the city did major ad campaigns, global tourism campaigns to get people to come back. And that will happen again. They're already right now, the chamber right now, the Conventions Bureau, they're already right now planning their recovery efforts. They're having meetings right now as we speak on this radio show
They are doing recovery effort planning to figure out, what to do because, there will be months here now where nobody's going to come and the hotels are going to be closed and the restaurants are going to be closed. But then once it comes back, they want to be ready to go and ready to run and ready to tell people all around the world that this is still one of the most beautiful places in the world and you should still come visit. And actually, one of the hotel guys I was talking to yesterday said that they've had some people come, not a lot, but he saw evidence of some people that were getting in cars in New York City, in Washington, D.C., in crowded, cold places and driving here because if they're going to be quarantined stay inside, they would rather do it here in Miami in the sunshine and have some space rather than be cooped up in an apartment in New York City. So there are people that are leaving other parts of the country in their cars and going to warmer climates to ride this out. So some of those people may end up, this hotel guy told me they've already had a few customers, not a lot. I mean, he said not enough to make up for all the ones that are canceling, but they actually did have a few reservations of people who are coming from up north, particularly from the New York area, who have families in Miami. They love Miami. They vacation in Miami. And they decided that if they're going to be cooped up for the next 8 weeks, they want to do it here rather than there. So
crazy stuff. Crazy times. Follow Michelle. Follow Michelle and follow her coverage of the coronavirus here at the Miami Herald and get all of their coverage. I am a subscriber, a proud subscriber of the Miami Herald. You can do it too. And, of course, follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports. Catch her every Wednesday here normally at 2 o'clock, and hopefully we will catch you next Wednesday with another, I would imagine, more corona updated type of stuff next week. Michelle, stay safe.
Yeah, there's one fun soccer thing I'll mention to end it on a happy note because there's just so much bad news. The story I'm about to post mentions that while the players are all being quarantined all over the world, there's a social media thing that's been going around. It's a toilet paper juggling challenge. And I don't know if you've seen, but soccer players all around the world are juggling a roll of toilet paper with their feet while a lot of them, to do it correctly, you're supposed to do it while washing your hands. So you're supposed to be washing your hands while juggling a roll of toilet paper with your feet. And anyway, it's gone viral on social media. It started in Europe, in the Netherlands, and it's gone all over the world. And several MLS players, including most of the Inter Miami players, have been doing it. And it's become a viral sort of fun little public service message that the soccer players are doing. And it's basically they juggle the toilet paper with their feet, and then they challenge another soccer player with a hashtag. And then that person has to do it. And so, it's kind of like all those other challenges that we've had, the bucket challenge and the mannequin challenge. This one is juggling toilet paper roll with your feet.
I love that. I love it. That is so cool. Follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports. Michelle, you're the best. Thank you, and be safe. All right? Be safe.
All right, be safe. Bye-bye.
You got it. There you go. Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald. I like it. I got to try that juggling. You know what? I can't do that. I'm not going to waste toilet paper. We need it. There isn't a lot on the shelves. I can't waste a roll doing that.
There's a bunch of people that are like, hey, can you send me a few of those?
Love it. All right, let's switch gears. Fernando Ramirez from NBC in San Diego is going to join us. He covers the Chargers. Let's get the latest. Phillip Rivers is gone. Tyrod Taylor is there. Are they making a move for Cam Newton? All of that. Why didn't they get Brady? Let's talk a little Chargers football. We do that next. Live, of course, from Toyota of Hollywood right here on The Big O Show.
Plus tax tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to WelcomeToRockvilleFestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to WelcomeToRockvilleFestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Thought you were going to switch gears, talk a little Chargers. Fernando Ramirez, he covers the Chargers for NBC in San Diego. You can follow him on Twitter at RealFRamirez. And Fernando, first question on your Twitter feed. It says, Deion Sanders once told me my genetics are off the chain. All right, I got to know, why are your genetics off the chain, Fernando?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. If you scroll down a little bit more and you see the video of Deion Sanders, we were down in Miami for the Super Bowl, and he turns and I was asking him a question about what it was going to take for the winner of the for the team to win the Super Bowl. And he looks at me and he goes, "Man, your hair is off the chain." He's like, "You took your time with that hair." He's like, "That's beautiful hair." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I got to thank Mom and Dad for it." He's like, "Yeah, your genetics are off the chain." So for me to get told by one of the greatest players of all time, whose genetics are off the charts, he tells me my genetics are off the chain, that was just incredible. And this other guy that covers the Chargers for the AP, Joe Reed, he's like, "You have to put that on your bio." And he's like, "That has to be on your bio." So I'm like, "All right, let's go." So I put it on my bio and I pinned the tweet so that people could see why, and the video's right there. But it was just a funny moment to have Deion Sanders tell me that.
That is awesome right there. That's good stuff by Fernando Ramirez. Fernando, one of the things that I got to bring up is the fans hate hate the Chargers because they left to Los Angeles. I'm surprised that the media in San Diego doesn't hate them too, and they're still covering them. So how odd is that for you that you're still in San Diego covering the Chargers? How is that received in San Diego?
You know what? There's still a lot of fans that are open to the Chargers down here. The thing is that we still get fans that want content. So I'm basically NBC is the only outlet that still covers the Chargers. So when we throw out articles, when we do stuff like that, yes, you're going to get the people that are like, "Oh, we don't care." But there's other people that are like, "Oh, wow, we actually do care about this. Like, thank you guys for going up." I have people in my own family who are still Charger fans. They don't care that they moved to LA. They just care that that they still have their football team and that they haven't rebranded. I think that's been important also. They haven't rebranded. They've stayed as the Chargers. So that's been important. A lot of fans, like I talk to a lot of fans during training camp. I try and get some perspective and stuff. And a lot of the fans are from San Diego. And they do go up there. They're there for their team. There's a club called Die Hard Bulls Club, and they're all about the Chargers, and a lot of their members are from down here in San Diego. Guys still have season tickets. They still go up. So, I mean, for an outlet down here in San Diego, like, they don't just have to get all their news from the L.A. media. They can get it from down here, too. And I'm the guy that's going out there and covering the team and going to practice and doing all that. So, I mean, it's honestly good that we still have at least one that goes out there and gives them content. So I try and bring that to them.
How do you think it will go in the new stadium? Because they couldn't fill the smaller stadium. What makes them think that they're going to fill the big stadium? What's your prediction there on that one? Because obviously, if your folks in San Diego don't go fill it up, the LA people aren't doing it. So what are you expecting in that one?
I mean, if I can be completely honest, the thing is that it was very expensive at the StubHub or Dignity Health or whatever it's called. It was very expensive to go there. I mean, it was about $400 to $500 for 2 tickets, and then plus $100 for parking. I mean, a lot of fans can't afford that, and I mean, especially when you have a family and you have other stuff, a lot of people can't afford that. So they just weren't coming out and then said they were selling their tickets to tourists who were coming in and trying to go to the games. So, to be completely honest, the Chargers going into this new stadium have made tickets cheaper for fans to attend the games, and I think their lowest price is like $40 or $50, which is actually good. I mean, for a family of 4, it's going to be a lot easier to go to a Chargers game. The Rams are more expensive, so I feel like it is going to be a little bit more of a family of 4 being able to go to the Charger Stadium or Charger games more than Rams. But a couple of years, last year, I believe, the Rams played the Chargers at the Coliseum. There was a lot of Charger fans. It was probably about 55-45, I believe, or 60-40. But it was up there. There was a lot of Charger fans, and I was going around and I was asking Charger fans, like, why are you guys here? And they're like, dude, these tickets are affordable. For my whole family, like, a gentleman had 7 people there. And he's like, I paid $40 per seat. This is affordable. We can come here, and that's what we need the Chargers to do for the new stadium. If their tickets are cheap, we will go. The thing is, I have a lot of family, and I can't just say yes to my son and say no to my daughter. So I need to be able to. What's fair is to bring the whole family. So if their tickets are cheaper, we will go. And that's the senses that I was getting from a lot of fans, that if tickets are cheaper, they can go. And the Chargers have made it very affordable for fans to attend their new stadium.
Fernando Ramirez joining us. He covers the L.A. Chargers for NBC San Diego. We almost got a feeling around the country that the Chargers going after Brady was not just as much that they needed a quarterback, obviously getting rid of Rivers, but also kind of a PR boost and kind of really moving into the new stadium. Was that really kind of the plan, that they needed it more, as much for PR as almost as much as the quarterback?
Well, I'm not in the facility, so I don't know, but this is my perspective. I believe that it was for both. I mean, if you think about it, like Ben Affleck was on First Take on ESPN, and they asked him if he goes out to the Chargers, what are you going to do? He's like, are you kidding? I'm going to be going to the stadium. He's like, I'm going to be there with my friends, with my family, and I'm going to go out and watch. Well, if you had somebody like Ben Affleck, Mark Wahlberg, those kinds of guys who are friends with Brady they're obviously Patriot fans, but they love Tom Brady as the person, then you were going to get a lot of people going out to the stadium, checking him out. I mean, you were probably going to be easily on Monday night and Sunday night football. What do you think, about 4, 5, 6 games if you would have had Tom Brady? So I think it was both. I mean, obviously what he can do on the field is incredible, but what he could have done off the field is even better, because, I mean, Tom is Tom Brady. I mean, he is I would say he's the Michael Jordan of the NFL. Like, whenever you see him, I remember I went to Super Bowl 49 in Arizona, and the Seahawks came in. Everything was cool. Like, you saw Russell Wilson. When Tom Brady walked into media day, everybody stopped and watched as he walked in. That's the kind of guy he is. He's attention. Like, whenever he walked into a room, he has the attention. When he came to San Diego, same thing. He walked in. Yeah, he was getting booed, but all the attention was on Tom Brady walking into the stadium. So, yeah, I mean, I think it would have been both good for a football standpoint, but it would have been great for what he could have done, getting celebrities to come out, fans to come out, all kinds of stuff.
Fernando, so they got rid of Rivers. They didn't get Brady. They've got Tyrod Taylor there. Now there's talk about Cam Newton. What is the plan for the Chargers? Are they going to go forward with Tyrod Taylor? What's your gut tell you? Are they going to make a move for one of these guys out there? Cam Newton? Why not maybe Jameis Winston? Or maybe go in the draft and get the guy? What are the Chargers going to do at quarterback?
Oh, you didn't hear they signed me at quarterback? No, I'm just kidding. Right now they're saying it's Tyrod. I don't think they're going to want to trade for Cam Newton. Maybe if the Carolina Panthers release him, maybe they might go after him. But everything says that they're going Tyrod right now. I thought since they got the 6th pick that they will be looking at Tua Tagovailoa. They're going to be looking at Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. I think either one, Tua or Justin, would be a good player for them. Justin obviously has a strong arm. Tua is the one that's been under the Nick Saban scheme, so he knows how to work an offense. They're going to have some competition, though, because Miami has been tanking for – I remember that hashtag, tanking for Tua. So I just don't think Jameis Winston would fit the Chargers, just because of Anthony Lynn has always been about the head coach has been about he wants to keep the turnovers down to a minimum. And, I mean, Phillip Rivers threw 20 last year. Jameis showed him up by throwing 30. So I don't think Anthony Lynn would like a quarterback like Jameis. He turns the ball over. Cam's been out essentially this whole year healing up. So I feel like Cam's never had the kind of weapons that the Chargers have. You have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, Austin Eckler. And that's just without the players that they're going to keep on adding, obviously. And I feel like Cam would probably do better in this offense, but I know that they love the young quarterbacks coming out of college, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tua gets drafted. But in my opinion, no matter what Tua does, I feel like Tyrod will be the starter opening day, unless he just completely blows everybody out of the water, or Tua or Justin, unless the rookie quarterback blows everybody out of the water, and you can tell that he should be the starter. I think it will be Tyrod Taylor, unless something changes. Like I said, Cam Newton getting released or something like that. But I think it will be Tyrod Taylor.
You're still a Tua guy even with the injuries?
No, that's not me. I like, in my opinion, it's difficult because you know what you get on the field. He is a guy who's very smart. He knows the offense. He knows what he's doing. But then you have Justin Herbert, who's a tank, and he could just like. I remember in the Rose Bowl, he takes the ball. One of the I think safeties comes up to try and tackle him. He just shoulder blocks him, knocks him to the ground, and he runs 40 yards and walks into the end zone. I'm like, wow, like this guy is crazy. So you have two different kinds of players, but what Tua can do on the field, the way he sees the field is pretty interesting, and I feel like the Chargers will like that. It's just going to be obviously I don't have his medical record, so I think that's what it's going to come down to. What does medical records say? But in my opinion, I just can't choose between the two just because these guys can go any direction. They could even take Jordan Love out of Utah State and sit him. But my gut feeling is Justin Herbert will be their quarterback. Will be the quarterback drafted, if I can be completely honest.
All right, there you go. Follow him on Twitter at Real F Ramirez. Fernando, man, thank you for taking some time to talk a little Chargers, my friend. We really appreciate it. Enjoy beautiful Southern California. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on, and it's a little cloudy right now, but I hope everybody out there stays safe, and yeah, let's keep on enjoying free agency.
You got it, baby. Stay safe, Fernando. Thank you, my man.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go, Fernando Ramirez joining us on the program. I like it. All right, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Should they get Cam Newton? See, that's the thing about the Chargers, that they desperately need the quarterback. I'm a Tyrod Taylor fan because I like him personally. He's such a good kid, and I've always rooted for Tyrod Taylor. I know what he is. He's not a guy that's going to be really accurate downfield at times. He can throw a nice little deep ball, but he has some accuracy issues, the mobility. He's really smart. He's got to fine-tune that arm, and he hasn't been able to. And I don't know if he's going to be able to now when San Diego or Los Angeles gives him another shot. But there's no way that they're committed to him long-term. And if you bring Cam in, I wonder how much Cam has in him to prove it. Because, see, I don't know what they're going to want to pay him. Because I doubt the Chargers are going to want to pay him top dollar. And if Cam is still thinking of himself that way, that might be a problem. He might have to sign a more incentive-laden type deal to prove it and prove he can stay healthy, too, on top of all of that because of the foot injury. You know? But if I'm the Chargers, I'm probably taking Tua Herbert at number 6 right after Miami's done. If Miami takes one of those two, whichever one's left, or if Miami takes the one guy that the 3 are gone now, Burrow, Tua, and Herbert by 5, then you've got a problem there at 6. Then maybe you might be able to, beef up the line or something like that is maybe what you do with the Chargers. I don't know. I don't think you take Love at 6. I still think that's a little too early to take Jordan Love. All right, let's wrap it up here on the program. We thank Steve Ostrov and Herbie, all the great people out here at Toyota of Hollywood. Bill, as always, along with John, working great.
Thank you, O.
Done, putting it all together.
You
tomorrow,
did great, man. You did great.
Well, we survived. Listen, tomorrow we are only doing one show because Hialeah Park is closed, so we can't go to Hialeah Park. We will be at Craig's Inn, Acura of Pembroke Pines tomorrow, starting at 11. Normally it's 9 to 11. Tomorrow we'll start at 11, and we'll go till about 2, 3 o'clock, actually. On Friday. So we will have a loaded show for you. We'll have a bunch of guests. We'll go all around the NFL. I'm sure we'll talk about any of the breaking news that goes on throughout the rest of the day. We'll address all of that tomorrow. More importantly, if you need a great vehicle, come on out here to 1841 North State Road 7 here in Hollywood, Toyota of Hollywood. Come on, Herbie's right there. He's going to take care of you. Tell him that Big O sent you if you come on out here. And stay safe. More importantly, stay safe.
Please.
We'll see you tomorrow, and be good out there.
Have a good evening.